and your children are turned into mindless vassals who now they look up to some twit instead of looking up to Thomas Jefferson or looking up to Nikola Tesla or looking up to Magellan. I mean, kids, Magellan's a lot cooler than Justin Bieber. He circumnavigated with one ship the entire planet. He was killed by wild natives before they got back to Portugal. And when they got back, there was only...
But why? $22 million in 3 fucking hours!
There is no nobility in poverty. I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every fucking time. The real question is this: was all this legal? Absolutely fucking not.
Neither go towards the feeding grounds at the edge of the ice, nor return to the colony. Shortly afterwards, we saw him heading straight towards the mountains, some 70 kilometers away. Dr. Ainley explained that even if he caught him and brought him back to the colony, he would immediately head right back for the mountains. But why?
What's your dream? To go away.
To go away. That's great.
Do you guys want to drink? I don't understand why everybody has to be so judgmental. I understand why mom's judgmental. I think it's because she cares, partially. I think it's also partially because everyone else is looking at her like, hey, Cody's just a bum. Cody's this, Cody's that, Cody's this. Cody's me, bro. Let me be me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the MCG show. Chill, how are you feeling?
Yo, boom, what's up, y'all?
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to the fine establishment. No, let me stop, man.
I actually like that. I
just gotta put on a hat and do like I don't know, bro. I'm not gonna jester for you guys all day though, so probably not gonna happen. You know, we should add some more themes to it, maybe. You know, I should be wearing like a hat here and there. Not just a hat.
No,
like,
I kind of like the ladies and gentlemen sitting in the corner at 5'8". It's your boy, like you know.
Okay, well, I thought you were about to say your boy De Niro Dom here. I was like, whoa.
Nah. I know you're what 6'2".
Yeah, about that. No,
this guy. Look at him. Look at this guy.
Nah, bro, I'm about 6 feet flat.
6 feet flat. Okay. All right, I'm not too far away. Solid. But I was thinking about that with Muhammad Ali in the back. I'm like, you know, maybe that theme would have went well. But
oh yeah,
guys, appreciate y'all tuning in. It's gonna be another wonderful day. Yo, shout out to boy Pepe, dude. Like was in the comment section before we even went live. Okay, so gotta shout out the homies in the
Jill
MCG
and I are,
Discord.
like, just in the back room shooting the shit, and we see Pepe's comment come through in the comments, and we're like, dude, are we live right now? We were saying some heinous things back there, so no, of course not. But yeah,
thank God we weren't live
first. Yeah, thank goodness. Nonetheless, yeah, Chill. How you're feeling a little bit better? You said last time you were on stream. I mean, we could all hear it, but you were struggling. It was a struggle bus,
dude. y'all heard me on Tuesday, bro. I was struggling. I couldn't breathe. But we're back. We're better. We're not 100%, but we're good enough to get a good stream out for you guys today. We got a nice show lined up. Actually, maybe I do this. Maybe I pull up Crypto. The homie is in the building.
GM.
Yo, guys, a great follow right here. A great follow. You guys should definitely keep
he's
put him on the list.
That's a PFP of a jester. That's what you guys expect me to dress up like every single time I come up on stage. You think so?
Yeah, 100%, bro.
Maybe, dude. Maybe one of these days, boys.
One of these days. All right. So in other words, he means tomorrow. Or whenever the next
stream
time.
I'm not going to be on.
Do it, but we won't see it. Do it, but we won't see it.
Just know the whole day I'll be gesturing around with my little I don't know, whatever the fuck jesters use.
All right, guys. So here's you already know, got to do housekeeping. There's 150 of us so far in the stream, and we just kicked off just like a couple minutes ago. That's actually kind of crazy, but appreciate you guys for joining. You already know we got to start off with the housekeeping, right? So we're gonna ask you to do two simple things here to start off the stream. It's 150 of us and counting. Go to MCG Live at MCG Live on Twitter, on X, whatever you call it. You want to make sure, number one, you're hitting the follow button. Hit the follow button. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. We cover on-chain news, events, projects, founders, whatever is happening on-chain, we are on top of it. I'll show you exactly a little bit more about that here in a second. But you want to make sure you're following the account. Scroll down. Boy, we at 13K. About to be 13.1.
Yeah.
Let's go. Guys, incredible growth. I mean, just on Tuesday, I was checking this and it was like 12.8 or something, or 12.7. So, I mean, insane growth on the MCG main. We appreciate you guys.
Look at the smart followers there. Okay.
All this. Come on
like
now.
It, man.
We got Pow in the building.
Shout out Pow. Shout out.
We got John Wang.
Shout out John Wang. Shout out Solana.
Shout out all.
But you know what? Really, our smart followers are right here in the chat. These are the smart followers. Okay. This whatever Chill is using to gauge smart follower, they got it wrong. We got Pepe in here. We got Sean here. You know, we got Crypto Jones somewhere lurking. These are the smart followers. Put some respect on their name.
Got to. Shout out the homies. And if you refresh the page, I had to refresh real quick, but if you go to our pinned tweet, you want to do two things on the pinned tweet. Hit like, hit RT. Just for the fun of it, you want to go to the main instance, hit like, and hit RT on that too. I mean, why not? GM Design, GM, appreciate you joining. But that's the housekeeping for today. As you guys see, you notice the title of today's stream, RWA memes, will they last? We got a quick BTC update for you guys before.
And real quick, because I know it's going to come up. People are going to ask for the Discord. Guys. You got to be active in the chat to get in the Discord. It's restricted right now. And if you get in the Discord, and then I see you send nothing but a ticker, no explanations, you're gonna get the boot. I had to do it the other day for someone. He sent a ticker, nothing else. We gave him feedback. He's like, I wasn't asking for your feedback. Well, this is not an exit liquidity farm over here, okay, boys? MCG Collective will not be exit liquidity. We will be the ground floor. So if you want the Discord, be active in the comments. We got you. Happy to hook it up, but you gotta be providing value here. We're not just this is not a free for all. With that said, Jill, please.
Yeah, I mean, look, the collective is a hive mind of insanely handsome and giga-brained individuals, high IQ only, right? So we want to keep it as high signal as possible, limit the noise in there, and that's why you get booted if and there's no re-entry. I'm sorry. Like I'm sorry. I'm just not, for right now, I'm not going through all that. So if you're done, you're done. It is what it is.
You're done.
With that said, let's look at the long XYZ eco real quick. or let's talk about the long XYZ eco. So maybe we just look at the main runner here, AI. Now, if you guys were in the Discord, you're well familiar with long.xyz. About a week and change ago, we've been talking about AI as well as the entire ecosystem. What we've seen, though, is after this run, we've seen Banker come out with their own, stock pairing with launches. We've seen a few other launch pads like Pawns come out with the same thing. And what's happened is the liquidity is now, instead of being focused on one ecosystem, one asset, it's now spread out across new launches, old launches. Everyone's trying to compete for this same space. And as much as people like to hate on meme coins, you actually see that meme coins are driving adoption of RWAs, tokenized stocks on chain. And you know who said it the best? Deployer, the founder of Banker. Hopefully, appreciate him for the follow. Hopefully he'll be on MCG here soon. But he said, hate it or love it, meme coins did that, bringing real flow to real stocks. So love or hate meme coins, but they actually drive adoption. But at the same time, while it is a powerful narrative, right now we're still technically in a bear market. It's been really good on Robinhood so far, but the thing is, there's a lot of launches coming out around the same narrative. There's a lot of people competing around the same sector, and it's kind of reminding me of a little bit of what we did on Solana. And right now you see the pullbacks across the board on a lot of different ecos, because now Bankers entered the chat, Pawns has entered the chat, a few other launch pads have now started doing something similar. And so we're going to see this, sort of like start and stop for each ecosystem, each token. It's not just going to be a 2021 style bull market where everything goes up all at once, right? It's going to be, this narrative where we kind of have to climb that wall of worry. At least that's the indication I get already, or at least that's the indication I get so far, I should say. So that's kind of the take on RWA memes. They're here to stay. They provide a powerful catalyst for the adoption of tokenized equities on chain. But right now, in the current state of the market, we are still in a bear market. Liquidity is still pretty scarce across the board, and so it will affect the way some of these assets move over time. So I'll say that Aslam, I hope I'm saying that correctly. I don't think I am at all. I think I butchered that.
You're not saying that correctly. I wouldn't be able to say it correctly, but I know for a fact you're not saying it correctly,
bro. But I've gotten a lot. I've gotten a lot of these names correct, though. You're better
than Josh and myself. I'll tell you that much. You're better than. I'll say myself first. I'll say myself because that's what a humble person does. But you're better than Josh and myself for sure.
There you go. Look at him. Look at him being humble and all.
Yeah, Mr. Humble, dude.
So that's the take on RWA. Let me edit the handle. There we go. OX Donald Pump. I love that. I love that. Shout out to you.
Let's go.
But beyond that, guys, other update I had for you guys was on Bitcoin. So earlier this week on Tuesday, I basically, mentioned that, hey, look, we are coming into an area of resistance. And as you see, the drawing that I had, here is the drawing that I had before. Over here was the drawing I had before. And this is the drawing that I have now, right? Like you guys see, we called the bounce at 60K. Now we're getting cautious as we reach into the high time frame FVG. There's also like a breaker there as well. So there's a lot of resistance. I was ideal scenario would have been to sweep these the liquidity above the 67.2K area. So I'm still kind of waiting to see if we do a sweep. If we do, I'll definitely get into a short there if it forms an SFP. But for now, still expecting a rejection, like I told you guys earlier this week, from this region going down to sub 60K for our final flush of the bear market. So that's kind of the thesis here. Here's just a little bit to give you some context on that as well. Let me see here. Let me pull this up here. Bang. This was a nice little fractal that was drawn out by the homie Kill XBT. Get you in the Discord? Perhaps. Perhaps not. Let's see. Fascinating. What did the future say? Sensational.
Yeah, sensational.
Oh my gosh. All right. But this is kind of what I expect to some degree. We have this kind of push upward again. We ideally would grab at that liquidity above 67.2K, and then we just flush it all. This is a little different. This schematic doesn't say new lows, right? I'm saying new lows. But he isn't. He actually has a much better idea of what, or a much different idea of what Bitcoin does here in a bit. So that's my take there. The other one that I wanted to show you was the Bitcoin realized price regression. So this metric kind of we've hit this metric at previous cycle lows. So he's kind of comparing it to this being kind of 19K if we were back in 2022. Did we already sweep 67K a couple days ago? No, not totally. And I'll show you that here in a second. But those are the two kind of schematics, two ideas that I wanted to share with you guys. The last one was, basically the time from all-time low, from bear market low to all-time high. As you can see, it's been about 1,000 sort of 65 days. So, and the time in between has also been pretty consistent. So there's we see there's a little bit of confluence there across across multiple fronts. This guy. Interesting to hear your thoughts. Yeah, of course. Happy to share. Sharing is caring, as the saying goes.
Donald Pump, though, I don't know. I don't think I think originally some of the Pawns dump was due to the Noxa relaunch, but I think actually more so this can be attributed to Long kind of taking a lot of that market share on the volume.
Yep. But here's the thing. I don't think have we seen a Pawns runner yet? Like name a Pawns runner. You can name a Noxa runner easily. You can name a long.xyz runner easily. But is there a runner for Pawns yet?
I'm sure there is, right? I mean, it's just
sure, maybe.
Maybe.
I haven't seen it kind of come across my timeline yet.
I like Pawns. I want Pawns to win, but that's an interesting point because we have seen one on a couple on virtuals. We've seen definitely some on Noxa. We've seen one or two now on Long. I do like Pawns a lot, though. I still think that's gonna be the easiest, most frictionless option for deploys.
Yeah. I think it'll have its day. But going back to what we were talking about when it was RWA memes, it's a very sticky sector. It's very early stage, and it does have a lot of potential, but there's a lot of competition, right? A lot of RWA memes are starting to launch. We got Spacehood AI as one of the first two, but then we have a slew of other memes that have launched over the last few days that have been kind of grabbing at the same liquidity that's been rotating on chain from one ecosystem to another. And so just there's a liquidity dispersion there. I think there's a lot of competition in the launchpad space. We have Banker now on Robinhood, obviously Noxa coming back and not coming back. That's always going to be something that will shake up the launchpad scene. And then we have a few others as well. I mean, we even saw the Uniswap founder, but part of the Uniswap team. He kind of talks a little bit about Pawns, Banker, Long.xyz, Virtuals, and there's a few others as well. So,
yeah, I mean, Shaw, you got a good point. Like, I like that Pawns is tradable, and I like that, so much 80% of, so 30%. So it's a 30-70 split, right? Creators get 70% of all, the fees that they have, and then 30% goes to the Pawns Launchpad. Of that 30%, 80% now goes back to buying and burning, and 20% for operations. So it is a nice flywheel mechanism for the Pawns token, and that's honestly why Pawns is so undervalued here. I even think at 20 million, because the buyback and burns are still like outpacing, within a year it'll outpace all of supply, right?
yeah.
So that is bullish, but this is also the issue we've seen many times when a Launchpad launches a token. It works as a ceiling. It really does work as a ceiling against the rest of the eco. And we saw this with Believe, right? For the longest time, nothing could break above a certain ceiling because Believe token was that high ceiling. And this has happened on many Launchpads. So this would not be the first time. But yeah, didn't mean to interrupt there.
And guys, do me a favor, yo. Go to my comment here. Let's like this comment. So go to @SaintNico on Twitter. Go to this post and go down and like and just rate this tweet. And I'm gonna probably get this out to the Discord too. Rate this tweet.
Dude,
rate the tweet.
I'll go like that.
If you do,
send that in private, bro, I will like that right now.
If you do, perhaps we get you in the Discord. Perhaps.
Fascinating. Fascinating.
Perhaps. Let's see.
Yeah, look, we want to keep this Discord high quality. I think there's gonna be a balance at some point where it may open up again in the future, and like you have to earn your way to a certain like badge to where you can, I don't know, level up in Discord. But for now, it's closed. We gotta start to gauge towards a jump here. But one last point before we transition. And I have these tweets, right? So the question I think is coming back to, here. The question is coming back to, is Robinhood chain sustainable? Like, are we going to see this sustain?
This is what I was going to cover. Yep.
Yeah. And Adam's a great follow right now, guys. If you are looking to keep up with the Robinhood chain, make sure you're following Adam, because he posts some very valuable stuff. He creates all these Dune dashboards. So look at this. This was posted 9:48 p.m. last evening. So, 7-8 hours ago or whatever. RWA on-chain trading volume. Look at this. These are meme stock coin pairs. Hit well above $30 million. Just yesterday. With that being said, another Adam post as well. Like, things look doom and gloom on Robinhood, but as for volume and wallet increasing, it has not stopped. I mean, look at this. Robinhood chain 24-hour DEX volume is back above 500 million. So it did take that dip. Today and yesterday we've seen dumps across the board, but I think again, that largely is going to happen for these trades because a lot of them are flat. And I think this just goes back to why have we not seen a runner on Pawns? It's because everything launching on Pawns right now, for the most part, is noise. These are people that are seeing the success of Robinhood chain and they're quickly trying to move on it and capitalize from it. These are not projects that I've been building for weeks and months and years, rather, fly by night projects. So I think that also goes back to the type of projects we're seeing launch on Pawns. But I mean, this is very promising. I think Robinhood is going to be sticky, as every chain does after initial hype run up. We're going to get the highs and lows, the valleys and the troughs and valleys, or whatever you want to call it, mountains and valleys. But yeah, so I think that's where we're at in the life cycle. I do think we continue to go higher. But
I'll just add to that quickly here. We have our next guest in the waiting room, guys. So we have to jump to this first interview here. But to add to Dom's point, not only is RWA volume, activity, but daily active users are also climbing the charts, and we see Robinhood flipping base. And we saw what happened recently with Coinbase and Jesse and Brian Armstrong over the last week. So notable to say that, capital has now found a home on Robinhood. I think that can be said now. People have made money. When people make money on a new chain, they now kind of evangelize for that chain, right? So, and I can definitely say I see a bit of a home in Robinhood as well. A lot of possibilities to be had there. But guys, let's go ahead and get to our first interview of today. We have Sciento in the waiting room, and he's going to talk to us about sharewode.fun. So as we're talking about new launch pads are coming up. New launch pads are coming up. Everyone's popping up and coming out with their kind of own spin on what can be launched on Robinhood. So excited to dig into what makes his launch pad different. You know, what's the goal? What's the vision there? And I'm so excited to get into it. So let's go ahead and pull Sciento up. Or is it Ciencio? I don't know. Ciencio. I don't know. Ciencio. Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, it's
Well,
good
welcome,
you said
brother.
chill, because I would have gone with the same thing as you.
It's fake Latin, so whatever you say is probably going to be fine.
Oh, dude, I thought you were gonna come out here and start speaking Italian for us. Okay, this is just throwing me for a loop, dude.
Oh man. So wait, how you doing, brother? How's everything?
I'm doing good. I'm a little tired, but I'm excited.
Awesome,
you know,
awesome. I know you're probably
Alpha
tired
launch.
from
I'm sure
yeah,
no sleep has been
tired
lost.
from building. Now,
No
we've
sleep.
known each other for a little while here. I think we've all known each other for a little bit. But talk to us a little bit about your background, your background in the space, how long you've been in crypto, and perhaps even any experience that helps you build what you build now.
Yeah, so I'm Senchio. I've been in the space since about 2015, 2016, I think. So I guess coming up on a decade. I wasn't always on the on-chain side of things. I was an XRP maxi for a while there. I was in some alpha groups with Dom and Chill here. So that's how we all kind of met. And
OG.
I'm happy to be here. I also
Wait, so
am the... Yeah.
I got to double tap on this though. You were onboarded from XRP. You're you're a product of XRP.
I am, yes.
Okay, interesting. You know, it's interesting to see how many people come from the XRP community and actually like stick it through and branch out beyond XRP. We know they got their cult, so that's amazing. Wow.
I think
Yeah,
it all
there was-
stems from a hatred of the banking system, actually. So, but that's why probably most of us are here anyway. So,
A hatred we all understand for sure. Well, I mean, it's good to see that that you're building. I mean, we were kind of running on chain together for a little bit back early last cycle on ETH.
Yeah.
Talk to us about how the journey all led to Sherwood.
So, journey to Sherwood. Everything started on chain. A lot of trading, a lot of getting rugged, getting scammed, as happens. I founded Jest Tech as well to kind of alleviate part of the pain of trading, which is what to do. And for Sherwood in particular, I was playing around with agent launchpad ideas for Jester and kind of repurpose some of the smart contracts for Robinhood because you can feel the vibes on Robinhood. It's got a good feeling, and it seems like the founders of it actually want to push it. And of course, the real world asset side is huge. Like that's major to me.
Got it.
Can I jump in here with just your like vision on Robinhood? You said the vibe is good. You like the founders, and why I start here is because I guess largely the success of Wode at this point depends on the success of Robinhood. Do you foresee Robinhood being a sticky chain, right? We've seen volumes kind of go up and down since launch. And of course this happens. And we talked about this before the show a little bit. But how do you foresee Robinhood growing as a chain? Does it become a dominant player in the space? Does it take some of the volume from Solana and meaningfully compete?
In your answer as well, include just overall why build on Robinhood as well.
Okay. So I saw a tweet yesterday. I can't remember who tweeted it, but he basically, his synopsis was that Robinhood's going to succeed no matter what, purely because of how massive their app and their user base. So one of the ways, and I agree, one of the ways I see this playing out is they just push as much of their volume as they can on chain because that allows them to move things around 24/7. And so for Sherwood to be able to tap into that liquidity in any way is huge. So that's why we're building here and not building on, say, Ethereum Classic or Base or anything like that.
Got it. So talk to us about your launch pad. You're finding that Robinhood's a good fit. You see the activity on chain. You want to be a part of it. You now launch Sherwood. Or is it Sherwood? Sherwood? Let me know if I'm correct. But talk to us about what you're building.
I pronounce it both ways throughout the day, so it depends on the hour. I think it's Sherwood though.
Because the lore
it's Old
here,
English. Yeah.
Because the lore here is like Sherwood is where Robin Hood would go. I think back at, like in the Robin Hood lore, Sherwood's like the place he would go and live, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct. Yeah. And this is the Old English spelling and pronunciation. So Sherwood is probably correct.
I will say
And
the whole Robin Hood narrative is kind of like perfect for memes and on chain and like, you know, stealing from the rich, giving to the poor. Like it is kind of a perfect fit. And it, you know, obviously works so well for Robin Hood.
Yeah, exactly.
But I do love the lore behind it.
For like a launch pad too, that's why I kind of went with the vibes I did, is like slow everything down a bit and stop going so crazy. Like you should be able to choose a coin and buy your coin and sit in your coin and be pleasantly surprised instead of just on to the next rotator.
This is like generally the theme I think we're seeing with a lot of the launch pads on Robinhood. I think Pawns less so, but of course we had like Long. We had Nate from Long on the other day. We have you today. And like we had Sonder from Fire on the other day too. And a lot of this is, okay, hey, you can accumulate RWA real world assets or assets in general, but like there is going to be some sort of holder benefits and holder mechanisms. And like that is uniquely different to Robinhood, I think, than we've seen. Like obviously the culture on Solana is so much like 60-second hold times, pump and dump, copy trade, fast movement. And I think Robinhood's taking a completely different approach in some regards.
Yeah, 100%. Like I'm seeing a lot of the guys that had quit on-chain trading for over the past, 18 months who are coming back to Robinhood just because of that.
Well, part of the nature too is just EVM in general. I mean, you mentioned it before. You and I and Chill have gone way back into last cycle in the early Ethereum days when these tokens would legitimately just go up only for weeks and months. Like there would be small, maybe 10, 15% pullbacks, but you would be top lasting and you'd be paid for it. Like we haven't seen that in a long time.
Oh yeah.
So it's like kind of the nature.
My trading style is buy high and sell higher, but that doesn't work if you top blast and it goes to zero. So
yeah. No. Nonetheless, let's talk about Sherwood a little bit and what you're building here, because you said you kind of wanted to slow it down. That was a bit of the ethos here of like buying and holding, and RWAs are like a big thing you're leaning into. So Robinhood launches. You kind of see this launch. You're a builder. You've been in the space for a while. You like EVM. All your products that you built, I think, have been on EVM. The Jester ecosystem, that is. So with that being said, you see the launch of Robinhood. What's going through your head here that kind of led you to launch Sherwood?
So I saw the launch. I saw a lot of liquidity moving onto the chain and a lot of positive feedback. I saw Noxa coming on, and I was like, "Oh, I should play on this chain." And then, of course, Noxa disappeared, and that left a massive crater on Robinhood, which immediately starts getting filled with extractors and all sorts of people. And so to me, I was like, well, the most basic thing I can do is not rug, because I've built Jester for 3 years through ups and downs and sideways and all sorts of stuff. So that's the most basic thing I can do. And from there, you try and put your own spin on it, try and come up with some interesting ideas on how to interact with the unique parts of the chain. So the real world assets and the stock contracts and all that cool stuff.
Can you kind of talk about the gap that Noxa left wide open? I mean, this was a brutal gut-wrenching L for Chill and myself that we invested heavily in Noxa, got absolutely brutally beaten for doing so, and then watched these other launch pads kind of go on a massive run. But yeah, so we saw like with Noxa sunsetting, it left this door wide open, and a few people came in. And this kind of birthed the launch pad wars on Robinhood as we know them today.
Yeah.
How are you feeling about that, right? Because there is a lot of competition, and there is a lot of people kind of iterating around RWAs. This has been like the main theme of Robinhood, right? So when you look anywhere, it just feels like you're looking at a launch pad that's doing something in RWAs. And so like the question becomes, what's unique to WOD, and how do you guys stand out in like the sea of launch pads?
Yeah, there's what do they say? There's more launch pads on Robinhood than there are coins now.
Right, more launch pads than launches.
Yeah. So I think for one thing is the stock meme combo. I think that's a new market primitive. So the fact that everyone's doing that now is a good thing, and it's going to keep volume on the chain, which is going to keep people interested. But kind of what sets us apart, like our bread and butter, is the rooted tokens, is what I'm calling them. And that's a launch where initially it starts off as your typical bonding curve style launch. But as it graduates, a portion of that LP is actually set aside and used to build a, call it an investment portfolio that sits underneath that token to support it.
Interesting. Wait, so what can that portfolio be made up of?
It can be made up of anything with a contract address and enough liquidity. So you could do Tesla, you could do SpaceX, you could do CashCat, you can do anything that that has a pool that that can be reached.
And so how I understand this, and we talked a little bit, it took me a little while to wrap my head around it, which is why like we wanted you to come on and give like this thorough kind of breakdown of the mechanism from A to Z. So what happens is you launch a token, and or maybe I'll probably won't even waste my time embarrassing myself here. Can you maybe just walk us through the mechanism? Because the conclusion I came to was this is like a basket of baskets, right? So instead of a one token that's got 6, a basket of tokens in it, it's actually a basket of 5 different baskets that are all comprised of different things themselves. Could you kind of talk us through how this works? Because it can kind of get a bit confusing pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll use WODE as an example because that's launch and it's graduated. So I create WODE. WODE has underneath WODE are the 10 graduates, top graduates from ShareWODE. And as WODE trades, a certain percentage of that volume is taken and used to buy back those 10 tokens. And those tokens are also balanced, of course, against each other. So 20% of the portfolio should be each token. And as they move in and out of sync and they're forced to rebalance, the profit from that goes to buyback and burn WODE. And that setup can be used on any token on ShareWODE.
And so this kind of becomes a reinforcing flywheel, similar to what we see with MicroStrategy, where it's like it's buying Bitcoin and holding Bitcoin, but then the more they buy, the more Bitcoin price goes up, boosting the amount they hold. And it's kind of like this reinforcing flywheel. Was there any inspiration drawn from MicroStrategy or Michael Saylor?
No, not at all. Actually, I never even made that connection. But yeah, it's the similar idea. I really love flywheels, and I love protocols that are that run themselves basically, where the protocol itself is buying your bags. That's kind of the whole idea here.
Okay, and this kind of does actually seem like the natural progression of RWA. So we know what we've got in Robinhood right now is now token to stock pairings. Okay, and that kind of seems like stage 1 of RWAs, and we've seen pairings for the longest time in USDC, USDG, Sol, ETH, whatever it might be, virtuals, the standards. Well, now we've decided, okay, we can do this with stocks, so we're seeing stock pairings. But now, like the next iteration of this is, okay, can we now pair them to indexes or baskets of stocks or baskets of assets? And in this case, you say yes. So walk me through the mechanism, right? You have WODE. It is a basket of the 10 top graduates that are, it's constantly readjusting based on whatever edges its way into the top. And perpetually, all fees that are going into WODE are used to buy back those top 10 graduates. Hence, technically making the underlying value of the tokens increase, in theory, that is. And of course, then the main token increase. Is that kind of how you're thinking about this as well? Like we're moving into the down the curve of RWA, and like we start with paired tokens, and now we're going to get to paired token baskets.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the S&P 500 is. It's just a gigantic index. It's and the reason I did it this way is like you said earlier, like Launchpad tokens place a ceiling on your protocol. So the only way to fix that is to either not have a token, which it makes it incredibly hard to market and push because there's nothing for the community to rally around, or you somehow aggregate your protocol itself inside that token.
So what we're seeing right now is someone launching a meme token and then pairing it with a stock token. In this case, could I come on your platform and launch, let's say I wanted to do a memory index, right? So I could launch, I don't know, some dumb give me gum token, the big rock and Knight of the Museum who's got probably no memory, or he's stupid, right? He's retarded.
Yeah.
But I can pair that against the top 10 memory stocks. Is that something you foresee in the future? Because again, like right now, what we're seeing is the single stock pairing, but now I can actually get exposure to an entire broader index of that. Is that possible, or are we just doing on-chain tokens here?
It's just on chain right now, but as Robinhood expands what's available, then for sure it's totally possible. Really, the only limitation is, does it have a contract address or not?
Are the current stock pairings right now that everyone's doing, those are on chain, like they're minting those on chain? Am I
correct? Yeah.
Got you. Okay. What do
And
you think Robinhood stands in? Of course, like I think as this grows, your platform becomes more dynamic. So do we expect to see Robinhood bringing more things on chain, expanding its offerings there? Like you kind of have to play for the future here a little bit.
I think they have to just look at the demand that Long's created for NVIDIA. Like, if you're a company, you can't say no to that kind of volume. So I hope they bring on more contracts and more stocks.
Okay. Well, now, yeah, continue, please.
I think it's also the future too, because we're also seeing like other chains like Kita who are really building around real world assets and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, no, it's really interesting. I mean, as we even kind of bring this out, could we create tokens against a basket of baskets, in the sense that like we have the S&P in there, we have the Dow Jones, we have the Q, we have the Qs, maybe you have like 5 or 10 baskets of stocks. Could you make a basket with all those baskets and then pair that against the token? It's like, it's kind of hard to comprehend.
Basketception. Yeah. Because it works with any contract. So you could create a basket that has a basket with each of those being tied to a stock, but then each of those also has a basket. And then each of those has a basket. And it could go forever to infinity, really.
Who's the target here then? Is the target just somebody that is a traditional investor and they would invest normally in indexes? Is this for meme coin connoisseurs? Is this for people who want exposure to because it's also just like, why not just buy an ETF at that point, or not an ETF? Why not just buy an index at that point, or go straight through Robinhood to do this? I guess if I had to ask you.
Yeah, so it is different. It is targeting more of the meme coin and other creators, and I'll explain some of the mechanisms too in a second. But the way it works, it's not actually connected. Like, it's not backing it. The price of the token can go up or down as it needs to. There's no real mechanism forcing it to match the price of the basket itself. The only it's the movement within the basket that is buying back the token. But other than that, the token can just go up or down and as it trades naturally.
Okay, and so there's no like net asset value here as you accumulate from these baskets. It's not like there's a set underlying net asset value of, hey, over time we've done $1 million in fees and we've accumulated $1 million or 500K, whatever, in the S&P 500. Hence, the token market cap should be minimum 500K, since that's like the underlying value. There's no like NAV component at play here.
Exactly. It's got to be free. It's got to just do its thing.
So quick question for you on that. I guess the better question is, like, how do you see this? Like, I call them RWA memes, but maybe they're not memes. Like, I don't know. Maybe this expands to all tokens, but how do you see this sector evolve over time? I feel like that kind of relates to the vision of your launch pad and like the direction you want to take it. But how does this overall category, is it something that stays with crypto meme coin traders? Is it something that normies can adopt? Will it be utility tokens and not just meme coins? Like, how do you see this sort of like growing over time?
I think it will catch on with normies. Let's just look at the popularity of Doge during that time. For the baskets in particular, it is a utility, and there are ways to use it beyond just real world assets. Like, for example, you could create a rooted token that's some sort of DAO, and inside that DAO token, you have a basket of the individual creators who make up that DAO, or like an alpha group or something like that. So there's the use of a SocialFi, or you could do Web3 games where you have your primary protocol token and then you have the individual game tokens underneath, and they're disconnected. So all the tokens can do everything they need to do, but they're all still supporting each other in some way.
Interesting. And Do you ever see like a need, because this is baskets of tokens. So do you ever see a need to like maybe incorporate in your platform the ability to do crypto native baskets?
What do you mean by that exactly?
Like instead of just a basket of you know, like the S&P like that, or like a basket of equities, do you ever see the need to like shift that towards crypto native assets, like maybe a basket of meme coins that could be kind of paired against a token? Like do you see, like, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. No, yeah,
Yeah.
you can totally do that. You can do that right now, actually. So like if you wanted
Oh,
to
wow.
make a kind of Puss in Boots coin that has a basket of Cash Cat and all the other beta cat plays, you could do that. So it's just not an index of that. It's just, a basket that it's all working together. But yeah, totally.
What about if I didn't want to do the top 10? For example, you have 10 graduates, the 10 highest trading coins in the WOD ecosystem are in the WOD basket. What if I wanted to do like 2 or 3? Pick some of the top semiconductor stocks, or pick some of the top. Yeah, is there a way to make it so it's not 10, rather it's like 1 or 2 or 2 or 3 or 4?
Yeah, you can do minimums 2. You can launch with 1. It's just obviously 100% of that portfolio. So there's no way for it to rebalance itself. But yeah, minimum you should do is 2, and you can do 2 semiconductors. You could do 2 meme coins. You could do Tesla and Moondog, or what have you.
So maybe talk me through how some of this works, because there's a rebalancing mechanism. Like, again, it does seem like this kind of gets complex quick. Could you walk us through how some of these underlying mechanisms function to make this up?
Yeah. So we have a listener on chain that's feeding us stock prices for our stocks, and there's a listener as well that's watching the actual token baskets and the balance of those. And as those fall out of balance, it comes in and says, hey, this is not good. Let's do some calculations, see what's in profit, what's not, and we'll sell and try and get these percentages all matching up as they should be.
Got you. Okay. And Crypto Jones, and if there's any other mechanisms you want to kind of go into depth and break down, like I'd love to kind of hear more about that. You said we have something for the meme coin traders, and want to break that down too, but maybe in a second here. Crypto Jones asks a question, and we're starting to see this with Sunrise. We're starting to see that they can bring both off-chain assets and multi-chain assets onto Solana. Like, are you expecting to see some of these on Solana? Is there like a native bridge that you're working on? Are you talking with the Sunrise team, or is this going to be exclusively for Robinhood?
It's exclusively on Robinhood right now, but I am working on bringing it to other EVM chains. And of course, I'd like to get it on Solana, just because that's the kind of the meme coin capital.
What would that look like, though? I mean, because we know guys on Solana who are thinking about Robinhood. We know guys on Robinhood who are thinking about Solana, but it takes a complete new piping system, like on the back end, to work, on an EVM chain versus SPL or Solana, right? So, what would that take?
Hopefully, someone else comes up with some kind of contract bridging mechanism and I don't have to do anything, but it's kind of the last thing to do on my list. I got so much to do before then with like supporting builders and utilities and migration protocols and all that stuff. So but that's kind of going to be the last thing, is Solana support. I'll let someone else hopefully lead that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Is it just you on the team building, or do you have others kind of supporting you with on this?
Just me building right now.
Got it. Dom, I know you had a question. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're totally good. So I want to talk about, like, how should people think about WOD, the token here? Obviously, it represents the top 10 graduates on your platform, but can you talk a bit through, like, what is WOD? Where does the token come into place? Is this a part of the, are some of the fees coming from the protocol going back into buying and burning WOD? Just generally give me the full tokenomics scoop on that.
Yeah, so WOD should be treated as an index token for the Sherwood protocol as a whole. And as it buys up those assets, the top graduates, those top graduates, as they rebalance, creates profit, which then goes to buy back and burn the WOD protocol token as well. And even the creator fees from the WOD token will be going to buy back and burn WOD as well. So. There's like two different sources. One source from the actual trading volume of the token, and then another source from the actual basket itself. And both of those will be working to buy back and burn it.
So tell me about break down the fees on the other side. So I get the fees on the creator fees for the WOA token. That part I get 100%. Where are the fees coming from on the token side?
So there's a 1% basket fee as well on the volume traded.
Got it. So it's essentially like all revenue from all parts of the ecosystem is coming back to buy and burn the main token.
Yeah, that's a great way to look at it, actually.
Okay.
Yeah, it's important to me that if you have any sort of protocol or anything like that, that it cycles back to your token.
Any figures that you can share as far as launch tokens, number of traders, volume on the platform, like any early figures you can share?
I had that somewhere. So we had around, I think, 800 traders. Obviously, WOA hit a market cap of around 500K, and through that time, it's collected 2.5 ETH for its rooted basket. So it's the rooted basket has built up 50% from what it started at.
Got it.
Well, I want to ask too. So, like, what happens? And maybe I've missed this, and you explained it. But you have the basket of 10. Some of the fees go towards, rebalancing and buying back the basket, right? Let's say Cash Cat here is 20%, like this image we have on the screen.
Yep.
So let's say $1,000 goes into Cash Cat, the buying of Cash Cat, right? Maybe price pumps from that, whatever. What happens to that $1,000 that just bought into Cash Cat, or what happens to the Cash Cat balance now that was just purchased?
It just camps out in the vault and in the vault until it falls out of balance with the others.
And then when it falls out of balance, it's sold and rebalanced to another position.
Exactly. So if Cash Cat went up 100% and it makes up, 25% of the basket, then the basket would account for that and balance it back down to 20%.
But there are assets then. There is a bit of a net asset value then based on all of the projects that are in the basket as the fees grow.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just not mechanically, it's not forced. There's nothing in there saying, hey, this is the price of the basket, so this is what the price of the token has to be. It's just not mechanical in that sense.
What happens is there any point where like a DAO could, like, let's say we do get under net asset value. So we have the top 5 tokens or 10 tokens in a basket, and over the time of the life cycle of this token, it's accumulated, say, $100,000 in the top 10, right? 20% each, or top 5, 20% each. And now there's 100,000 there, but the token that represents the basket is trading at $90,000, or let's just do $50,000 to be a little bit extreme, right? So there's a 100% upside gap there where the token is technically trading 50% below net asset value. Could there be a vote proposed by the holders of the token to liquidate the token and actually receive the just pro rata shares of all the index tokens that are held in the basket?
I'm working on something similar to that. It would have to go back and buy and burn the token instead of being an actual claim against the basket, just from a regulatory standpoint. But yeah, I'm working on something like that.
Okay, interesting. But I mean, and then people would obviously, at that point, if the basket gets liquidated, people would have no point in really holding the token, unless it is just a meme and there's mimetic value there. So I'm assuming they would sell into the added liquidity that's coming out of the
yeah, basically it would just become their claim without actually becoming a claim, if that makes sense.
Got it. Let's talk through roadmap a little bit. That's clearly one thing we just kind of tacked on there. What's some stuff on the roadmap that you're working on to really make this flourish?
So right now what I'm working on is getting the baskets finalized. They're pretty much running all correctly as they should be, but I finished the last part of that this morning, actually. The next part is I'm trying to really push for builders to come on chain and get support. And I'm working on I have a utility launchpad portion of that as well, which allows you to withhold a portion of the token with tax rates over time. So if someone comes in and they get an allocation and they dump it in 48 hours, they get punished for that. But we're not forcing them to not do that. We just want to incentivize them to do the right thing. Beyond that, I'm working on a migration protocol, which will let EVM tokens on other EVM chains migrate over to Robinhood.
And a roadmap question that I had was, what's your 0 to 1 moment? Like you mentioned that you're working on getting builders on board. Obviously, it's a two-sided equation, right? Like you have the traders that you need to adopt your launchpad, but you also have on the other side builders and deployers, people that actually want to launch something on your launchpad. Like what do you think attracts them to your launchpad? What are you doing to attract that attention and that user base right now?
Yeah, so I'm working with a couple different guys who are going to do some sort of style DAO, and there's a few meme coin launchers as well. Obviously, distribution is the hardest part of any protocol. So yeah, that's where I'm at right now, working through just trying to get people to use it actually.
So what's the 0 to 1 moment? I mean, is it just like a runner on the launch pad? Do you think it's maybe perhaps your own token running? Like, is it, or or does it have nothing to do with price action and more to do with, the real adoption happening? And what catalyzes that?
It's probably a little of both. Like it might have to be my own token. If I have to bridge over another token, I'll do that. I'll do whatever it takes to go 0 to 100. But I think at least one runner would be good. We don't really have, except aside from AI, we don't really have a runner from any of these different launch pads. So there's still a chance.
This is true. Yeah, it's been such a convoluted space, and like I think that's why we're hammering this question so hard. It's just like, how do you outdo all the other competition here? And there's so many launch pads, so it almost feels like you have to just accelerate in one specific niche and vertical, at a much higher level than everybody else. I mean, for you guys, it's very clearly stock pairings have interest, but no one's really tapped into index pairings where it's no longer paired to just one singular stock, but actually a basket of stock or index, whatever it seems like you're going with basket here. But yeah. So like I could see us getting to an evolution where that's just as popular as a stock pairing, obviously, since indexes are, I mean, they probably account, maybe you have the numbers, but they probably account for the most volume on these different exchanges.
Yeah, well, even traditional finance, it's the baskets that are the largest volume and pushing the most volume. And that is what we're kind of targeting, is the baskets. Like if someone wants to create a meme coin stock token that also has a basket, you can do that too. Like you can do both. It's all kind of modular. It all fits together.
Got it. Grand vision, maybe we'll just end there. I mean, we kind of got through the roadmap. So as you progress through that roadmap, what's the grand vision that you've been thinking on here for Sherwood? Where do you get to? How big could it get?
I'd like to have it on every EVM chain, and the vision is a launch pad where people actually are able to buy and hold, and creators are supported, and traders feel like they can actually sit on their bags. That would be the ultimate goal and ultimate vision.
Got it. All right, very good. I mean, Chill, if there's anything you want to wrap with, go ahead, or anything you want to say. Sentio, don't even.
Ciencio.
Jeez Louise. Ciencio.
We really appreciate you coming on. I mean, it's kind of a full circle moment, going back to meeting you years ago to now seeing you build and continue to build in the space. So, wishing you the best with the Launchpad, and it's a very interesting mechanism. So I'll be keeping watch, and as updates come out, we'd love to have you back.
Fantastic. Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Well, appreciate your time.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Peace.
Anytime.
Bullish on Wode by Sherwood. Yeah, nonetheless, takeaways, Chill. I think I think directionally, when you can if you can think this out a little bit, it makes a lot of sense that the most popular assets in the world, which are indexes, if we're already doing stock token pairing, like having stock or token index pairing makes a ton of sense. He's saying calling it baskets, but like I want you to think generally like that. And I do think if this RWA stuff on Robinhood progresses, which I don't see why it wouldn't, it would make a lot of sense for somebody to offer this and someone to be the leader in it. So it's nice that they're established. Like now we know them as the established leader for this basket pairing. But I think, you know, as the protocol develops, it'll be interesting to see like how should we be looking at the net asset value of these token paired with stocks. You know, it kind of gives us some underlying fallback to have like assets to fall back on, which is nice if that makes sense. So what are your thoughts on this, Jill?
I mean, I think it's a really interesting idea. It's a really interesting idea. I wanna see how the distribution side of it goes. I mean, we all know distribution is the moat now. You can build anything with AI. You can essentially do anything if you have the idea, you can build it. But really, what it's about is adoption, users, volume, revenue. All those things are important for a launch pad. So more interested. I don't think that they have an extremely like interesting mechanism. It's very unique. It's different than what you can get, you know, elsewhere. But now it's just a matter of getting that out to the masses. And I'm interested to see, you know, how they do on that front. But a lot of potential there.
I can see
A
it.
lot of
Look,
potential.
we got GME running hard. We had AI running really hard. I think Moo potentially ran pretty hard. And these are single token pairings. So like, I don't know, could you bootstrap now, take like proliferate this a little bit where you have a meme paired with like a meme stock? Well, can we proliferate that and make it to where we have a meme paired with all these different communities? Now we're not just tapping into the GME community, but we're tapping into, you know, what are some other meme stocks, man? There's GME, there's
AMC.
I guess those are like the big two. But
Well,
generally, that's the idea, right?
Yeah, I mean, look, you know, here he did say that they also are going to create the ability for people to migrate to the platform. I think that's going to be another driver as well.
There's a lot of stuck EVM projects.
Yo, shit, crypto in the comments in the chat is going nuts right now.
Grinder gay to 100 million. Though the grinder stock's been going crazy. Okay, allegedly. Allegedly. Let me actually see.
I'm gonna pull it up. I'm gonna pull it up right now.
So yeah, it's ironic because the gay coin, the gay stock has been outperforming like a lot of people. It's pretty hilarious actually. Is Grinder doing something in AI, dude? Is Grinder manufacturing chips on the back end?
Oh, for real.
There was also a funny story of like a toilet company becoming extremely valuable because like they figured out their toilets are using some technology that's really important for chips, and it was like a crazy thing. Grinder stock, backdoor investment.
Jesus Christ.
That is actually a good narrative.
that actually
the grinder game meme could actually be pretty funny.
You guys are too much. Yeah, no, here's that was actually goated.
This is the actual Grinder stock, which you could, for some reason, is #1 on Chill's watch list. I don't know. We'll have to talk about that later. But
no, not #1. You see, Bitcoin is #1, and all the way
he's hidden it.
Wait, no, it's not even on here. See, it's not even on my watch list. Come on, stop playing.
Look at this monthly chart. I mean, here, even if you bring it down, man, the last couple of weeks just alone have been kind of going crazy here.
Yeah, last couple of weeks, it's actually been pretty hot. It's
been grinding its way up.
Yeah, let me calm down. Yeah, it's up 60% over the, you know, since the May bottom. Wow, bottom in May. Wow, it's been going crazy a lot these last 2 months.
It has been, bro. Yeah, that's funny. The grinder gay token's funny. Not an endorsement of buying. I don't hold any, but that's kind of funny. Pepe said, "Y'all, thanks for bringing on Prize Fight. BB building my own trading agent and currently in first place in the tournament. Congratulations. Keep us updated on that, by the way, because I mean, as Robinhood leans into agentic finance, Prize Fight is like one of the first to launch and start to iterate on that. So like it could be a leader in the sense. I'd be actually interesting to check that out. And let's finish this segment before doing so. But Yeah, I mean, I think generally it's very early. You have to have some foresight here, but directionally, if we keep going down the path that we're headed on right now for Robinhood, the index pairing, the basket pairing kind of makes sense. It kind of makes sense.
Yeah. You know what I'm really bullish on? I'm really bullish on like crypto native baskets. Like we see the liquidity dispersion. And you know, Crypto Jones kind of gave me this idea. He had a comment in the comment section. He said, "Chill. What do you think about offering some sort of MCG ETF for Discord members? Um, that sounds like a very interesting idea." He even talked about Crypto Jones. Even mentioned later on. He said to have a Robinhood meme basket curated by Chill. I'm actually very bullish on the idea of this sort of crypto native basket. And it could be mixed with anything that's a token, which I was very impressed could be done by Wode. He said anything with a contract address. So tokenized stocks, meme coins. You can have like literally, I can have a Robinhood ecosystem ETF with the top runners on the platform as well as some top memes, right? Like who knows? But I think that's also a pretty interesting idea because it instead of liquidity being dispersed amongst dispersed amongst hundreds of tokens, you can now kind of like stitch that liquidity back together through these sort of like ETF offerings on chain. So I think it's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
Launchpad ETF when I don't know if I would do a Launchpad ETF to be honest, but that would be funny. That would be funny.
So it would be a 50 basket. It would be the Launchpad 100. It'd be 100 Launchpads. No.
Sure, crypto 700 viewers is mad. GG's. Hey, look, we do this. I'm just gonna look. I don't want to come off as arrogant or anything like that, but you guys saw it at the beginning of the show. We're out here, we're grinding, we're growing, and 700 views, now 800 actually, just hit 800. This comment came in like a few minutes ago. So appreciate you. We're growing. It's amazing. Can't wait for what the future holds.
Value. Guys, we're going to talk more on chain, just kind of shoot the shit a little bit after, but we do have our next interview up with CapEx, who we've had on the show before. So kind of just tracking development, seeing where they're at today. Look, here's what it comes down to. Inference is the biggest market right now. Everyone says it, right? Inference is a new oil. It's what's going to power everything. It's extremely valuable. We saw inference platforms raising in multi-tens and hundreds of billions of dollars. It's a valuable industry. We want to tap into it. Here in crypto, we have the unique experience to be very, very early on these trends. And I think we are really on the cutting edge of inference before it started blowing up. I feel like just having conversations with these projects. And the question is, how do we position for the ones that are going to do really, really well? And so, again, we've had CapEx on in the past. They're building in this category. It comes back to, how are you going to stand out? How can we decide if you're going to be a winner in the space versus the myriad of other different players that are competing here? So it becomes very, very difficult. Maybe if we're good to go, CapEx, just give us a message in the private chat, because I'm seeing 2 different accounts in the back room here.
Yeah, or maybe even just close out a tab or what have you on the one that you.
Okay.
Oh, you only see one?
Let's pull them up and we'll
yeah, let's experiment.
Let's test this one. Are you with us?
I'm with you guys. Can you hear me?
Yes, okay, yes, yeah. We can hear you loud and clear. Welcome back. How's everything going? How's it been?
Everything's been going good, thank you. I mean, I've been building. I've been heads down, like in the trenches, building this CapEx up. I mean, kind of delivering a product which I think I'm really proud of. I mean, I think I've worked really, really hard on it, and I think it's probably the best thing that I'm using right now. Like, it's really useful to me. I'm using my own product to kind of build up CapEx, which is kind of cool.
That's awesome.
We've even had you on the past and you've given the breakdown, but there's largely new audience here too that we want to kind of make sure you introduce yourself to, introduce CapEx and what you're doing differently and uniquely in the space. So like really briefly, guys, if you want to watch the full pitch, you can go back on our channel. We have previous episodes, but really briefly, maybe a quick background on yourself because you do have the accolades to kind of back your work here. And then, what is CapEx? What is CapEx? And what are you building here?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people, they're really curious about my background, where I come from and who I am. So kind of my background is an Oracle dev. I don't know what more to say than that, but I mean, I've been building infrastructure for a really, really long time. I worked at a quantum compute company where we worked in data centers, etc., etc. We built out quantum computers, built out a service called Quantum Compute as a Service, and that was really, really cool. I mean, I've been working at Broadridge Financial Solutions before, which is where I built out, tech for financial solutions and infrastructure for financial solutions, which is a whole other kettle of fish. Overall, I've got a lot of experience in the compute and infrastructure kind of area, and that's kind of why I kind of have the ability to kind of build out CapEx and kind of be the one who can build out CapEx.
Yeah, thanks for the answer. And I think, this kind of comes back to the problem that you uniquely identified on the show last time was there's a separation here between compute and inference. And you're really working on separating those two and making sure the best inference is routed to the best compute or vice versa. Excuse me, I'm not a professional here. I'm not the professional. But maybe walk us through like what the unique issue is. You've identified that and how you're kind of solving it.
Yeah, so the inference space is really fragmented, and so is the compute space. You've got loads of different compute providers, all competing to give you the best price, but really they're not giving you the best reliability, right? Like for example, you have Contabo, who have famously been giving very, very cheap VPSs, but have had very, very bad reliability. You can't get them on the phone, you can't talk to them, you can't do anything. You've got Hetzner, who are expensive, but at least you can get them on the phone. But again, they have bad reliability. You've got AWS, which are massive cloud company, and guess what? You're paying an arm and an elbow for something that shouldn't even cost you a few quid. And then you've got Azure, you've got so many other companies, and you've got all of this fragmented space in compute. Now, we talk about inference, we've got Venice, we've got UsePod, we've got Surplus, we've got all of these other people who are competing to get people to come and sell their inference to them. And people are like, that's really great. And then they have their other subscriptions, Kimi, Claude, etc., etc. And it's such a fragmented space where you have to have a bunch of API keys, you have to have a bunch of different things to access them, and you have to set up all these billing, like you have to pay for each individual subscription that you want. And it's just very, very fragmented. So what CapEx does is that we're pulling all these fragments together into one big product where people can serve all their AI needs, they can serve all of their compute needs, and they can use their AI to power their compute, and vice versa. They can use their compute and spin up a private model and use that alongside their use pod, their Surplus against their Venice and whatever they want to do.
Yeah, could you give us some practical examples of that too? That like this always helps. Let's say there's a person that's a gamer that has a very, small GPU versus like a quantum computer or something. Could you give us a few examples, like maybe noting the difference of where you would route certain tasks to and just how this would work in theory?
Yeah, so for example, if I want to run a heavy training on a inference model, I'm not going to use a regular PC, right? I'm not going to use your PC that you have in your bedroom. No, I need to use a proper compute, like a proper GPU, maybe an A100 to train this model. So then I would route that to an A100. But for example, if somebody says, hey, I want to spin up a website, right? But I'm going to have like a bunch of functions on there. People can kind of interact with each other, maybe an SMS chat or something like that. Then I would say, hey, this person has like compute in their bedroom. Well, I wouldn't say that to them, but they would then be routed. That would then be routed over their compute in their bedroom. But again, you have this reliability factor. So every single time you're spinning up an instance or a compute, well, guess what? It's backed by two other nodes. So you have 3 nodes in total. You got your master node and you got your 2 slave nodes where things are replicated. So should someone go down, and then we slash their stake because they're not providing the reliability, you will then be backed up quite quickly, like within milliseconds, and you wouldn't see any loss to your service.
So there's this big discussion going on in Crypto Jones and Chill. I know you had a question. I'm sorry to break in here, but there's this big discussion in the Crypto Jones highlights, and I want to ask you, like there's two sides of the court here. There's one where it's people are saying the newest, latest models are only training on better, the best chips in the world. It's only getting more expensive. It's only getting more difficult. And there's the other side saying decentralization is the way. We're seeing that, all these other models are made accessible to everybody, open sourced. And you kind of got two sides to it. And there's this like big battle of which one wins. And so Crypto Jones' question here is, what do you say to the people who see these cheap inference platforms, or who say this cheap inference platforms won't work because they can't offer the latest and greatest processor performance? I don't know, which side of the fence do you stand on in terms of, the newest models need the best hardware, and that's maybe not necessarily available on some of these platforms?
Well, actually, interestingly enough, I mean, a lot of AI labs are trying to solve this problem, right? So they take these models and they quantize it into bits that you actually need. So, I mean, this is what makes things really, really interesting, because a good model isn't good if it can't do what you want, right? So if I say to Fable 5, hey, can you tell me about quantum computers, and can you spin me up a quantum algorithm and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, sure, it can do that, right? But it wasn't natively trained to do that. Now, when you get smaller models with smaller parameter sizes, which are purely trained for specific use cases, you're going to find that the performance will outweigh a massive model who is not trained in that certain field. Like, for example, if you go into Capix and you go to train, right, you'll see a smaller model, like maybe 7 billion parameters, like a Quen model, right? And this is a real example, by the way. So then someone came to me from the Imperial College London, and they said, hey, I want to train a model who is purely for detecting allergies. And what by allergies, I mean like hay fever, eczema, and skin allergies that people are likely to get from having exposure. So what did they do? They took this small model and they trained it over a data set. And this data set took wearable data, it took data about the local area, and it took data about their genomes. And what she was able to do was train this model, and she was able to have a much more accurate model which could instantly say whether somebody was likely to get exposure to a certain allergy than not. So, yeah, I mean, this is what my answer is to that.
And I if I can jump in here, I had a quick question. Just
Mhm.
this might be backtracking a little bit, but it was about the auto route, the routing of resources to GPUs. Now, explain that to me a little bit, because this can be automated, right? Like a developer or a builder would have to come in and basically like hunt, through each decentralized platform to say, hey, all right, or I should say, to find the cheapest inference, the cheapest compute, and then pay for it. But it'll be a longer process. So the kind of innovation that Capix brings to the table is not just the marketplaces itself, but kind of like the ability to bring all these different marketplaces together, and then that auto router can kind of like leverage all of those marketplaces to then automate that routing so that the builder doesn't have to do it manually. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah, you're getting that exactly correctly. And another thing that we are doing, which is completely different to everyone else, like what we can do is we can actually split up workloads as well, so that they don't run just on one GPU. They can run across multiple if there's a little bit of space on each one. For example, if one GPU has about, I don't know, 70% 70% utilized GPU, well, we can put another 10% on that one and another 10% on one that has, for example, 60% use, or maybe 20% on that one. And we're able to kind of split these jobs up and route that across the whole net, essentially.
So as a follow-up to, I saw that there was a privacy component to the routing. Can you explain that piece to me as well?
Yeah, so we're going to be offering a secured cloud component to Capix, right? So this secured cloud version would mean that you have on-chain proofs that is zero knowledge, that the providers of your compute will never ever be able to see what you're running. That is fully secured, as in it's running on trusted execution environments, and we are working so that we can make that even available for federal customers and clients, where, for example, they have data that cannot leave certain regions, and we will make that region specific, and we will make it so that it's kind of audited as well. So this way that people are fully regulated with HIPAA, with GDPR and things like that. They can make sure that nobody knows, and the data never ever leaves that environment. And this can be true as well. Like, imagine a company, they slap in a private AI model on there, which is fully uncensored. Nobody else can see what you're talking to with that AI. It's fully uncensored, so you can say and do anything you want with that AI, and nobody would ever know, which is insane.
Huge innovation there. I think that was actually, those are the two kind of components to this that makes CapEx really interesting. What's the effect on the builder side? Like, what's the cost savings, the time savings? What does that look like for a builder to make, something like to make the CapEx layer attractive to use?
Well, look, if I manage to build out 4 products, 4 CapEx from launching this good, I can tell you now, it will save you so much time. For example, we have a regular counter, right, which counts how much money you're using, right? In terms of if you were to go to OpenCode or any other provider, right? And on mine, it clocks out at about $2,000 or $2,500. Now, my actual cost, if I track it through the website from using CapEx Inference, it has only cost me about $200. So you can see there that I've saved around $2,300 just on my inference cost. And also, because my CapEx code is so smart, and I'll be doing a demo on this very shortly, it means that it's also remembering what I'm doing. It's also remembering what I'm working on. And it also, alongside that, is learning. So as you're coding, as your CapEx code is coding, and as you're using the IDE and different tools, it's learning. It's learning how you like it coded. It's learning what the errors are that you're running into, so you never run into it again. And also, it's learning what the user's like as well, because it has that element to it where it can go out and search X as well and see how people are corresponding with your product.
Got it. That's very interesting. Just a quick side question that I had for you. Obviously, I'm not, we're not AI experts. We try our best to learn as much as we can from founders that we talk to, from our own research and digging into these protocols. But I wanted to ask a question here. What's the difference between CPU, GPU, inference? Like, is there a distinction between the three, or is it, or are they all kind of the same? Break that down for me. And
Yeah.
I know that seems like such a basic question. I'm so sorry for
All
being a
good.
smooth brain degen.
It's all good. I understand. Now, there's a very, very big difference. Now, a CPU is a compute processor unit. So you know how you have Intel i9, you have Intel i7, you have AMD Ryzen, all of them. Those are more of your CPUs. Now, a CPU it's okay, but it's a computational processing unit. Now, it doesn't matter how much power or CPU power you give it, it will always be so much slower. You can never run GTA 5 on a CPU. It's impossible. It's got the number crunching ability on it is just poor. You cannot do a lot of stuff, but it doesn't mean that it's bad. Now, stuff that runs on a CPU can be run on a CPU, and it should be run on a CPU. You shouldn't take stuff which can natively run on a CPU and chuck it into a GPU. That's wasteful. Like, for example, basic number crunching, you can run that on a CPU. However, when it comes to graphics rendering, when it comes to heavy compute like AI, etc., well, you need to have a GPU to do that, because that's a graphical processing unit. It can crunch numbers extremely fast. Now, remember, what is compute? It's just zeros and ones. It's binary, right? So what you're doing is you're sending that stuff to a GPU, which can compute it much faster. That's where you get your FPS, where you get everything from. The smoother it is, the better GPU you have, right? And then inference is a completely different kettle of fish. This is nothing to do with the computer itself. The CPU and GPU are to do with the physical computer. Inference is simply the intelligence you get from an AI model. Now, for example, when you talk to a model, it's inferring stuff, and that's where the name inference comes from.
Got it. Got it. Okay. I just sometimes these things are used interchangeably on the timeline, and I get confused because I'm like, I don't think that's what it means, but you're using it as though like some people are using like, GPU and CPU in the place of inference. And I'm like, I don't think that goes, but it is what it is. But thank you for clearing that up. Really appreciate it. Dom, I know you had one. You've been itching.
No, dude, this has been great, and I appreciate those questions because this helps me understand it better as well. And we're not professionals, I think, so I'm sure the audience is in the same boat. With that said, we want to talk about updates, right? That's the main reason we had you on. Last time we talked, it seemed like we're still in the pretty early ideation phase. You had a lot of ideas, but it seems like since then you've gotten to work, kind of hammered in some stuff. Where have we progressed since our first conversation, and what are you working on right now?
Okay, where have we progressed? Well, we have built out pretty much a lot of the ecosystem for Capix. And speaking of Capix, it's turned into an ecosystem. I guess that's one of the big things for you. Now, what's really great is that we have a lot of cool founders in Kickstart. And actually, when Covenant, when Alex, the owner of Covenant, and I started talking, I had developed out this 86 agent system. If you remember, I spoke to you last time. And he said, hey, why don't you take a look at Covenant? And Covenant actually blew my mind with how good it is at remembering, how good it is with its spirit. So I decided, and I thought this would be great in an AI tool, which I could then give out to everyone to use. And I open sourced it, by the way. So I'm not gatekeeping this tool. I open sourced it. I open sourced the IDE. I open sourced the Capix code because I believe that everyone deserves to have truly great inference and great experience with AI when they build. Now, what's really cool is that what we built was a way for your AI agents to actually natively use this compute, because the last thing a lot of people want to do is click around, kind of figure it out and do all of that. So what did we do? We created an MCP server. What does that mean? Well, it simply means that your AI agent will just natively
Chill, is this on my end?
Is that just me? Okay, I was gonna ask the same thing. I'm like giving her
never
a
know,
second.
dude. I think we lost you.
Let's see.
Yeah.
Just giving her a second to see if she pops back on.
Just as she was cooking, dude.
Yeah.
Just as she was cooking. There we go. There we go. We got you back. We got you back. We lost you there for a moment.
Where did you guys miss me? Where did you guys lose me?
Do you mind running that all back from the top?
Much
I'm so sorry. Again, Smooth Brain DGen on a Smooth Brain live stream.
I have now switched network, so it should be much better. Apologies for that. I've switched the networks now, so it should be a lot more smoother.
Perfect.
A lot more stable.
No worries. Yeah, maybe just again, kind of start at the top, and I got a post kind of pulled up detailing I think some of the work you've done, but you've turned to an entire ecosystem. You got into Covenant, talking with Alex, you were blown away. You've open sourced it, not gatekeeping. That's when we lost you.
Okay, so what I was saying is that I believe that all users deserve very, very good AI tools, and I believe that they deserve to be able to build with the best. But saying that, a lot of people are using AI agents now, right? They don't want to do the work themselves. They want to assign it, have them do it. So what did we do? We invented an agent-to-agent marketplace. Well, we didn't invent it. It was already there. We just signed up to it. That's with OKX. And then we also added in an MCP. So this MCP essentially just tells your agent, hey, why don't you go ahead and use all of these tools, deploy like you would to Vercel, but better, deploy like you would your database anywhere, like Superbase, but better, deploy everything, your mail server, but better. And guess what? All of these services, altogether, your AI can deploy for you, and it won't even cost you $5 a month. So you have your full business up and running with our Capix code and IDE. You have your full infrastructure built with a architecture grade solution. And yes, I mean, amazing.
Got you. Yeah, interesting. And what does this mean for CapEx? Of course, you have this token. I think largely this is what the conversation kind of always circles back to here is, how investable is this token? How can we kind of get aligned with what you're building? So what does this mean for the future and like direction you guys are heading towards?
I mean, to be honest, for us, our token is a very imperative part of this. Like I said before, when providers come on, they have to stake the token as a promise that they're going to give us reliable compute. This is very, very important to us that people are reliably helping the network. They're not just coming on and they're not just kind of nuking the network and giving us a bad name. No, they are promising with their stake that they are going to be a reliable partner for us. And then if they're not, well, guess what? We slash their stake. Those tokens are burned forever. There's nothing anyone can do. They're burned forever. They've made the token stronger. They've made everyone more happy, even if they have damaged the network slightly. And then what we are going to be offering soon is staking for as well other holders and holders as a whole. We're still discussing that, how that's going to look. We are going to go ahead with an ACE round. We've had the company formed, which took a little bit of time for us to work out. We've got a VC on board. We've got all of these exciting things happening. We've had Kickstarter who pumped in 60 grand, who did an investment into the token, which was really great of them. We've got loads of people who are really, really excited about the token. And the token itself is very cool. Like I want to own 80% of it at the end of it. That's my aim. Like I will continue to buy back until I own 80% of the supply. To put it frankly, I will. Yeah.
Well, you can't just drop some bombs on us and then like expect us to glaze over it. So let's walk it back. You said one thing, music to my ears. I think Chill's probably doing a happy dance back there. You said ACE round is confirmed, but even before that, you mentioned, okay, we have a VC on board. So, okay, now we're going to tie in safe agreements and equity component, but we've already sold equity in the company because we have a VC on board. What are you talking about here? Who's the VC? What did you guys do around? Did you guys do like, how did this happen?
So it wasn't a round. We haven't like done a full round or anything like that. Actually, I was talking to this guy. He actually invested in another company who do data centers in like the boiler rooms of commercial units. Now we were like, hey, we could use their spare compute. Like that's kind of cool, right? We wanted a partnership with them. So he goes, well, yeah, that's really great, but I love what you're doing as well. And I was like, yeah. He goes, but there's something's missing. And I was like, what do you mean? He goes, well, when people are developing, how do we know that they're doing useful work with your systems? And can we have some sort of proof of useful work? And can we have some sort of private component? And that's kind of where this kind of stuff came into, with the private compute and the kind of proof of useful work, which we haven't even got into yet. We will get into that soon. And I was like, that's a really, really good idea. So then I was like, okay. So I went back and I kind of built a plan and I did all of the work for it. And then he goes, okay, well, I mean, you've done all of this work. I'm a VC myself. We run venture communities, so you guys can look up venture community. And they were like, wow, this is really great. And we got the funding that way, which is super, super cool.
So did you even create a deck or anything? Or this was totally just like, give us the bank account. We're going to wire you money and let's set up a contract. And now we got equity.
It was a bit more complicated than that. Like we had to go through the process with them. We had to set the company up in the way that they wanted. We had to kind of show a concept. We had to, kind of prove our traction and everything like that, which we did. I mean, we have quite good traction as well, which is really, really good. And we did still have to prove ourselves in a sense, but yeah.
Of course. Okay, got it. You also mentioned. Okay, so with that, we got VCs on board. They love what you're building. They're working in the data center space, which led you to also building this proof of useful work network, which we've seen in things like Knock and Pearl, which is very interesting. And we want to talk about this. But before we do that, now you have a VC. There's an equity component to this token. And now you want to add ACE to the mix and potentially get holders some equity in the company via safe agreements. Can you talk about what that looks like?
Yeah, I mean, Yeah, I mean, I love the holders, right? The holders are the most important thing to me. So for our top 20 holders, we're going to be offering them a stake in the company because what we believe is that, we believe a lot in our holders, and I believe that they are the ones that kind of make us who we are. So yeah, we will be like capping how much each holder can get. But yeah, the top 20 holders will be eligible to be joining our ace round. So that will be
Okay.
really, really cool. I mean, it's not going to be major equity at the start. So we're thinking of a 5% tokens for 2% in the company. Something along that line.
So like a 1 to 2.5 conversion rate, which is pretty reasonable considering you got a 500K market cap here. That would be putting people in at, what, a $1.5 million, $2 million valuation, which pretty reasonable when you're talking about anything AI.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know if you can speak to any of that, but yeah, I think that's pretty fair. Okay.
Yeah.
With that, sorry, sorry. No
I think
worries.
there's a lag there.
There might be a bit of a lag here, but yeah. So okay, that's really interesting. You got this VC on board. You're doing ace rounds. You're going to open that up to maybe the top 20 holders, which I think is really interesting. Which brings us to the next question: like, where do you go from here? Because now you have a VC on board. These guys want to exit at some point. Are you guys looking to build out here for the next year? Are you looking to take this to IPO? Are you looking to do a merger and acquisition at some point? And I know you probably don't have the full idea or all the answers there, but generally, where does your head go when you think, okay, we built this cool company out, we've got some backing now. Like, what's the goal here? Are we taking this to profitability and just cash flowing this for the rest of eternity, or are we looking to exit at some point down the road?
No, I definitely don't think I'll ever exit. I mean, I can build out so much with it. We have the research, and we can build out so much with it. But what we will be doing is definitely looking to maybe take this to IPO one day. I mean, it's a good vision down the road. This, and keep it.
And I think we're getting some network issues here again, which sucks because you were going. I love the answer you were giving there, but we lost you a little bit.
Right after the IPO.
Yeah, you said we definitely could see this going to IPO. That's like a good end goal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we see it going to IPO, and we just see it, becoming a profitable company and just letting the flywheel turn. I guess we're going to continue to buy back, burn the tokens, buy back, burn the tokens as much as we can.
Got you. Okay, very nice. So we covered the VC, we covered the ace round, we covered the vision of like getting to IPO and just keeping this flywheel running. I mean, you're speaking to the choir here. We love hearing this stuff. Music to our ears. Let's talk about POUW, proof of useful work, which is a very interesting conversation happening right now, where essentially there are these big data centers that are already using this compute to, solve mathematical equations for AI. But they can use that same mathematical equation that they're already using the energy and resources for to also mine cryptocurrency. And we're seeing this being used as like a potential way to rebate customers or make extra money on the work that's already being done. Talk to us about what you see proof of useful work as and how that's now tying into CapEx and the protocol here.
So actually, it's interesting that you say that. Now, what we are planning to do is kind of have, when people are actually running their development and things like that. Sorry, I'm going to switch device because I know that my network isn't great here. Give me one moment.
Yeah, no worries. No worries. That would be helpful.
Yeah.
In the meantime, though, we'll just maybe text in the private chat when you're good to go. But yeah, proof of useful work. This is an interesting like change of direction, and it's a very interesting narrative. And like people say, basically the TAM of proof of useful work is, well, if you really want to bring it out, it's the TAM of the entire economy because they think agents are going to take over. AI is going to kind of just take over the entire economy, AI and robotics. But really, the TAM is all data centers and the compute that's already being processed by them. So it's a very interesting conversation, which is why I want to really touch on it. But
so
mid-interview takeaways, ace rounds, pretty interesting. VCs, very interesting.
Before we get to takeaways, real quick. So explain this proof of useful work thing one more time. So because this kind of sounds like it goes back to our conversation with Knock and the TAM that he was talking about there. Kind of give us a broad strokes. What is proof of useful work?
So yeah, proof of useful work, and it does go back to our conversation with Knock. It taps into the conversation with Pearl, and if you actually think about these proof of useful work data center, or these data centers that are also tapping into these proof of useful work mechanisms, can tap into Knock, Pearl, CapEx in this case, and mine all of them. So it's actually not a one person does not have to win the proof of useful work sector. But what it is, and this is my like smooth brain overview of it, is for AI to have process and solve equations, there are matrices that need to be solved in the back end. And what people are doing is their data centers. Some people were using data centers for Bitcoin mining. It's now more profitable to use it for AI. So what they're doing is using these data centers to solve these matrices for AI. And I honestly, it's probably I'm not the best person to explain this. But in solving these equations, there are also now proof of useful work blockchains that take the same equations to solve the AI solutions as it does to secure the blockchain. And so now what you can do is use the exact same energy, the exact same compute that you're using already for AI, but also use it to secure a blockchain. And so you can kind of double dip and get all the profitability from the AI side, and then also get the profitability of being a miner for some of these other, a miner and node on some of these other blockchains. So you kind of get to double dip. That's how I'm understanding it, and it's very, very interesting. And so maybe it'll be explained better. But let's see. Can you
Hey
hear us now?
guys. Sorry, the profile picture just will not load for me, so I do apologize. But can you guys hear me fine?
Yes, we
Yep,
can.
we
The
can hear
show
you.
goes on. And I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you heard me in the backstage there, but I kind of was explaining my idea of proof of useful work. Do I have that
No.
accurately, or can you explain how you see it?
So actually, CapEx has taken a whole new approach to proof of useful work. So proof of useful work for us will be that you're accelerating our mission, which is of course towards the future of AI, right? And that you're doing useful work, which is helping with this mission. So what will happen is as you complete tasks or as you complete dev work using our CapEx code or CapEx IDE, you will be minted dev tokens. And these dev tokens, right? So I guess this is our way of saying that you don't need to waste your compute minting it. But what will happen is on Solana, it will be minted into you. These dev tokens will be minted into your wallet. Now, every cycle, so we will have different cycles, and every cycle, these dev tokens can either be redeemed in your wallet for more compute time, or they can be redeemed for Solana, USDC, or stables, or CapEx tokens. So yeah, these that's what we're doing with our flywheel. So the more people kind of develop and work, well, they'll be getting more money back to them or more compute time because they're doing more useful work. And the parameters of doing useful work will increase as well in with the amount of projects that are produced and the projects that are good are produced. So kind of like a reward system for actually building useful and not AI slop kind of projects with CapEx.
Interesting. And so that kind of puts you as like a base layer. How do you foresee this evolving then in terms of like acquiring builders, having people start to build on top of CapEx? Like what does the vision here look like?
Yeah, I mean, we're going to be supporting a bunch of hackathons. We've already got some in the planning where people will be able to use CapEx IDE, CapEx code, provide a bunch of tokens and everything. With the Ansem hackathon coming up with EZA, I'm hoping to really get people involved using CapEx as builders for that. We're going to have like a dedicated Ansem skill so people can kind of add their own and some kind of twists into there. We've got like an idea sparks machine, which will kind of generate kind of business ideas for people if they chat with the CapEx chat and things like that. So we've got some really, really cool, interesting things going on where, these idea sparks that you kind of get from CapEx chat, where you can say, hey, can you go ahead and kind of build this MVP out for me? I want to see how it looks. And it can just go ahead and do that. I mean, other agents can ask it as well, and it can just go ahead and do that all.
Got you. Okay, these are all good updates. I think we covered a lot today. I'm not sure if we haven't covered anything. And if we miss anything, definitely jump in here on that. Sorry, I just heard some echo coming from somewhere. But what does the roadmap look like then? We just named a few things. How are you planning to work on these and progress towards some of these things we talked about?
Well, actually, we are kind of working on it as we speak. Like, I'm working really closely with the Kickstart team for hackathons and things like that. They're the kind of guys to go to for that. I mean, we've got a really great team of people supporting us right now. I've recently hired an intern as well called Layla. She's really great.
Let's go.
Everyone in the community loves her so far, so that's really nice. We've got Nodi out there who's kind of figuring out how to set up his X account, and he's going to be out there helping people with their software development problems and things like that. So he's not going to be a sales agent, nothing like that. He's not sales, but he's actually just a fully autonomous being who will be like kind of building his own projects on CapEx and kind of sharing love for compute and things like that. And AI. So that will be really cool. So you guys will be able to interact with him like he's a real person, and you guys will be able to kind of talk to him if you have any issues with your projects. He's got an architect mind, so it'll be as good as talking to me, if anything.
Wow. It seems like production's really started to ramp up. I mean, probably largely in part from some of the help the token funding has brought to you guys, and also the venture funding. Maybe talk me through that. I guess what's kind of changed now that you guys have some capital to work with? Do you have a general number of like how much capital you guys are working with now, what it's being deployed towards, or just like yeah, general ideas? You don't need to get specific, so make sure you're
Yeah,
saying what you're
so
comfortable with.
we roughly deploy about 15% towards partnerships, and 15% goes towards like kind of building up our kind of partners platform and kind of getting data centers onboarded and things like that. So that's what 15% goes towards. So we'll be having some really cool data centers. Another cool thing is that we actually acquired a space for our own data center, so more on that is going to come. Like I said last time, our end goal is to have a decentralized data center at some point, so we have acquired a space for that. So that's really cool. A large portion of our fees will be going, we're going to be onboarding another dev. I've been interviewing quite a few different devs. So we will be onboarding another dev, and quite a bit of fees will go towards that. Um, but yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, we've been ramping up production for a while, and we've been producing non-stop features. We're going to be sharing each feature every single day, different ones, so people can really get to know and see which ones they like best. And the thing is, what's really cool is our mail server. I think that's kind of the coolest feature that we have, because you can make unlimited email accounts on your own domain. And for a team that would cost you an arm and a leg with Google, or anywhere really. So to be able to do that for $4 is insane. We've done it ourselves at Capix, by the way. So our Capix mails are all hosted by our Capix network. We're actually moving across all of our Capix website and all of our hosting from Vercel over to Capix itself. So we're
Nice.
going to be running Capix on Capix, because Vercel is actually not as good as our servers. Like, I've been doing the tests, and I've been testing out speed, performance, and everything like that. And you're gonna get a major boost using us, which is really cool. Another cool
So
thing that we
how are you bringing this to market? Because I mean that like that alone is I think the compelling pitch there. You know, you're providing a service that's much better than what the standard is for pretty much everyone. So how are you tapping into that? Are you just going to companies and saying, look, like, we have an option here that's much better and much cheaper. You should work with us, or like what does that go to market look like?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like what we have been seeing is that a lot of people have actually been reaching out to us. Like, we've been talking to. The thing is, I talk to a lot of people, anyways, every single day. I talk to loads of people who have pain points to really understand what is it that they have issues with, right? And my thing is to solve them issues. And right now, a big pain point is actually, well, it's not really clear for AI agents how they can actually deploy infrastructure. So they keep making you fragmented infrastructure when you're deploying your MVP, your products, and then CEOs have to deal with that when they then become proper companies. They have to deal with a database in Google, and they have to deal with anti-gravity, and they have to deal with Vercel for hosting that, because they don't want to pay Google to host that. So then they make this fragmented workspace. Whereas Capix is coming in, we're finding all these companies who are having these fragmented workspaces. We're giving them a little AI agent, which will then kind of help them with their migration over, and they're pretty much loving it. We're much cheaper than like all your standard VPS providers as well. So people are like, well, it just makes sense. and especially with all the one-click deploys. So if you actually go to the website, anyone here can go to the website and you can see, like, I could drop in a JSON template and say, hey, can you train this data set on financial data, like this model on financial data for like trading, and then it can just go ahead and do that. You can work with the AI chat and say, hey, can you put together a script that can make my synthetic data set, and it can go ahead and do that. I mean, that's what we did with the Imperial College student, isn't it? So she's already done that, and she's got her own business, and she's going to be applying for Y Combinator using that as well. So that's really, really cool.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would pull up the website, but it's not loading for me right now, so I'm not sure what the deal is there. But I have a few questions from Darth Infrol. He's like our tech mind here, who always shows up. But he's got a few questions. I'm gonna run through
I'm
these.
not
Maybe you
sure.
can.
Yeah, I'm not sure if you have issues there. Are there users for the cloud? Yeah, there's quite a lot of these. Yes, actually, we actually do have some users for the cloud right now. So I don't know, a lot of advertisement hasn't gone out right now for which users are using it, but it will be going out very soon. Right now, they're all in the process of migrating their systems over. So most of our users are companies right now. So existing companies and existing enterprises who are actually um, sorry, 1 second. I see comments coming in.
No worries. No, you can continue
Yeah.
with that. I'm just popping these up for context.
Yeah. So yeah. So like for example, yeah, sorry. For example, like with Zaya and Bit Agents, right? They're now using AI for CapEx, right? But before we saw what their solution was is that they were hosting their own AI model and then kind of putting that in a VPS and using it that way. And I said, hey guys, let's kind of change your architecture a little bit. You guys can choose an endpoint from CapEx, which is super fast anyways, and then you can just use your regular VPS for compute, and they can save loads of money on their bills that way. I mean, these are the kind of conversations I'm having with people who kind of didn't really they don't really know how the best way to produce architecture for themselves is, because they're using AI to kind of say, hey, how can I do this? And their AIs are not trained like the same way a human would be trained to know architecture of systems, to know how to scale companies architecture wise for systems. And when you talk to CapEx chat and you talk to the CapEx code and the CapEx IDE, they are fully knowledgeable about how to do that. They are fully knowledgeable about how to scale your infrastructure, which is something that is going to be a major pain point for a lot of vibe coded companies.
Got you. We have another question here from Crypto Jones. Is CapEx a complementary product to a UsePod AI, Surplus, or competitor, or would you group them in the same space?
So I would say it's complementary, right? So if you're using UsePod, if you're using Surplus, if you're using Venice or all of these other ones, you usually need to have a different subscription, different wallet for each one. You need to deposit money into each account, and you have to set it up in your own kind of system, right? But you could come over to CapEx, get one API key, and you can use all different providers as you want to use them without any configuration really. And if you download CapEx code, well, guess what? It's already pre-configured if you do CapEx login.
Got it. Great answer there. Last question here from Darth Infrol. How is model sharding, smart routing coming along? If I remember correctly, you've been experimenting with them.
Yes. Oh, I love model sharding, and actually it's coming along pretty well. So we have like this experimental side to CapEx as well. Right now I've been focused on kind of pumping out features for everyone so they can start using it, so our business customers can start using it mostly. But yeah, model sharding came along really, really well. We were actually able to shard a model in two different parts of the two different countries, and get really, really good latency. Well, it wasn't the best, but it was pretty decent. So we kind of created our own P2P VPN, right? So site to site VPN to do that so that it could be a lot faster. So I mean, I love talking about the networking side on that. So so we should talk on that a bit more. What was the second part of the question? Let me read that. How is smart routing coming along? Smart routing is coming along really, really well as well. we're able to actually we have our smart router in the terms of inference as well. So we can choose the best model for you based on the code or based on what you're actually running prompts with. And it's kind of self-sustaining. So each child, so for example, if you spin up sub agents, each child will get a different model as well based on the work that they're doing too, which is really cool. And I don't think I've seen anyone offering that right now. Another thing that's really cool is with our smart routing system for the GPU clusters is getting really, really good. We're able to packetize things much, much faster now. I know a lot of people haven't tested it out, but from the start to now, our speed for setting things up have increased about 50 times, which is insane.
Wow. Great
Jeez.
updates. I mean, this has all been a great conversation. You dropped a few bombs on us today. I think that are going to be very interesting when it starts hitting the timeline. But I don't know. Is there anything we missed today that you want to touch on or cover before we
Yeah,
wrap
I
up
mean,
here?
to be honest, like guys, I will be doing a couple of free sessions where people will be able to kind of test out Capix and test out stuff like that. So I really, really hope that you guys will join us. I might set up a live stream or a space to do that, and we can have like a code with me session where everyone can get kind of some free credits and they can actually truly test out how powerful Capix code is. Like I'll be launching some products as well that Capix code kind of coded by themselves. One is like a game, so people will be able to play that game. One is like just a regular blog post kind of website, and just like 7 different sites or something that are examples that Capix code can build you. And what I recommend is that, you know what, people, you won't find a better harness. Well, I call it a harness because that's what it is, isn't it? Capix code and Capix IDE. You won't find better harnesses than this because the intelligence on them is just insane. And thank you to Covenant because I didn't have to invent that all by myself.
Nice. Very cool. Crypto Jones is wondering, I guess, when can we tune in to participate for some of these build in public sessions that you're talking about?
You know what? Let's set a date right now. How does next Tuesday sound for everyone? How does next Tuesday sound for everyone? Same time as now.
How does next Tuesday sound, boys? It'll take a little bit for it to go through, but we'll preliminary. We'll set next Tuesday. What time are you thinking?
Anytime. You just let me know what time you guys are free, and we'll do a code with me session with you guys. How does that sound? And in fact, you know what, Dinero Dom? We're gonna get you the one who's doing the live stream for the coding. So I'll get you all set up. You'll have get your prompts ready, and we'll see what you can build.
Okay. We'll see. We'll see about that. We'll see what I'm doing Tuesday. But sounds like a plan. We love it. We appreciate the transparency in the building in public. Very cool conversation today. I love the development.
I was very happy to be here. Thank you, everyone, and please look out for the ace round coming up soon. So yeah, we will be taking a snapshot, and from the time we take that snapshot, them top 20 holders will be the ones who are allowed to participate in it. So if you don't get into the top 20 by the time we take the snapshot, then you won't be able to participate in it.
Let's go. We love it. The EZA has a big portion of supply. Do you expect them to, move that over to the ace round, or just to be determined? It's up for whoever.
I mean, it's up to them, isn't it? But I mean, I'm working very closely with them, and I think they're a great team. And I don't think I could imagine building this on another platform or launching with another platform just because of the amount of support they give me and they give founders in general. It's insane.
Wow, interesting. Well, we appreciate EZA for sponsoring this show, and it's always great working there. So appreciate you so much. We'll be talking soon. We'll be watching for the ace round.
Great. Thank you, everyone.
Alrighty.
Thanks. Appreciate you.
Chill, man. Drop those takeaways on us, bro. Man, I wish I could have pulled up the website, but it just was not. I tried it a couple times. It was not working for me.
I wanted to ask her before she left where she's from. Crypto G369 says she definitely has a Buffalo NY state accent. I don't think so, bro. I think that's like London, in it. Like,
I think it is in it.
Yeah.
I think it is.
Oh my god. Yeah, I think it's more. I think it's more.
Yeah, the New York Buffalo pool is crazy.
It is crazy. My mom, she also has like a sort of like a British accent a little bit.
I noticed that. I'm like, sorry, keep going.
Wait, you've noticed that? What do you mean?
Okay. Oh, okay. Don't worry about it, bro. Don't worry about it, kid. Let's keep.
Yo, that's crazy. What do you mean? All right, guys, we're moving on. Takeaways from the Capix interview. She dropped some bombs on us. The ace round, the VC on board, the different. I can't with this guy, man. Somebody get me out of here.
All right, that was out of pocket.
All right. Yeah, great convo. Definitely was a great convo. So she dropped some bombs on us. I think what she was essentially saying during the interview was, look at what I've been able to build using my own technology. I've been able to build out all of these different products, 4 different products in the span of what has it been, like 2 months max that Capix has been live. So obviously there's a lot there for builders that they can take advantage of. So yeah, I mean, I think it was a great interview, great convo, and good updates all around.
Indeed. Chill. During our conversation, we saw something pretty monumental just happen.
Yeah. So, all right, guys. I don't know if you guys saw this, but apparently there was a tweet from Vlad.
Since it's been deleted. I can get
it has been deleted. I don't think I can. I wonder if
I
it'll
can
allow
get a
me to pull it up.
screenshot of it, but I'm not sure how we can pull it up. Let me send this to you.
I can pull it up
privately.
from the Discord. I can just share the Discord page, and I can show the homies. All right, so let me just share my screen real quick. This is actually crazy. Discord, bang, and let me do this as well. All right. So here is the Discord, and you can kind of see the tweet from there a little bit.
If you scroll up, you can see it. Jonas sent it here. I'll ping you. There it is. Yeah. So you can see
there we
basically
go.
this
I don't know why
it
wasn't loading.
Go ahead, Jill.
Yeah, so basically Vlad that's crazy. Vlad took from the poor and gave to the rich. That's crazy. Yeah, so I mean, this actually connects with a bit of a thesis that I have that I've been kind of like flirting with here over the last, I'd say day or two. All right.
Did you say the thesis is that like someone should hack Vlad? I'm gonna
not like I feel like this is a low key like temporary top signal for Robinhood. It could act as, and I'll tell you a reason why. All right. So first, as you can see, Vlad said, "Hey, look, we're launching the Vlad token, and it's going to be basically, the mascot of the chain or whatever." And Vlad is there. He shilled it, whatever. Obviously, it's since been deleted. And here is the chart of the Vlad token. If we go to the 5-minute, you can actually see this a lot more clearly. If I can drag it over. There we go. So as you can see, this went all the way from 0 to 100 real quick. This came in at about sub 50K market cap, and just since the time we've been on stream, it's went from that to well over 8 million, or not even 10 million market cap at all-time high. So absolutely crazy chart. And if you look at this, $18.4 million in volume, right? That's absolutely nuts. So there's a lot of attention that this token has attracted, obviously because of the Vlad tweet. And coincidentally, at the same time, we also see this happening. Phantom just integrated Robinhood chain.
Oh wow!
And so if you guys remember when FOMO was when FOMO was integrated into the chain, that kind of like short term was like a top. Like it was like a mini top. We dipped, the ecosystem dipped down, then we rallied again. So I'm not sure if there's something similar going on here with this. I say that to say, you have the Vlad dev, whoever hacked Vlad's account, whoever launched this token, they ran away with a quick milli off of this lick. And then you also have the integration of a brand new chain that honestly, you know, the Jeets on the chain, like, you know, kind of like Solana Jeets are coming over to Robinhood almost. We've already seen a lot of the slop launching. We've seen the rotation games. I say all of that to say the edge on Robinhood low key has disappeared. We're no longer like early anymore. We're not even like, I think we're more so late early. But what late early comes with relative to like normie adoption type of late early. But what that comes with is you have all of the serial deployers come on chain. You have all of the slop devs. I've even seen like some OG ETH devs trying to get active launching stuff. So there's a lot to be said here, you know, with where Robinhood chain is. Obviously, it's not going to zero. Obviously, the ecosystem is going to be going crazy. Obviously, the you know, this is in no way, shape, or form is this, you know, a top for Robinhood. But like I mentioned on Tuesday, we're going to kind of climb this wall of worry. So there's going to be these local tops. This ecosystem will cool off, and then a rush of liquidity will then flood the chain again. So I say all that to say today, a lot of liquidity taken out on chain. There's a lot of slop, and there's a lot of RWA memes that are, you know, causing liquidity to be spread out amongst so many different assets. So I say all that to say, from a liquidity standpoint, we could be hitting a sort of local top here because someone just extracted a ton of on-chain liquidity. And, you know, I think that will have its ripple effect.
Yeah, probably a fair take here. Liquidity suck a little bit. People are scared, rotate out. But what happens is, what's nice is after a rotation happens chain wide, when it does come back, it kind of reconsolidates into the main runners. So,
Yep.
I mean, that's where you want to focus on, right? What's going to continue to run? If you think Robinhood chain is going to come back, I think it comes back at some capacity. I think Robinhood chain does not die. So at some capacity it comes back. Even if it's a fraction of what we have now, it still means the main runners can lead and trend higher, at least from a local bottom. So with that, you get a liquidity suck event like this. You have people panic, fear, lots of selling happens across the board. The losers, they get wiped, they go to zero, they bleed for the rest of eternity. Now that capital gets consolidated into the winners, especially when things start to turn around. So bottoms don't always come in after a day. Like, this might take a day or 2 or 3, but watch for that bottom to start forming. Watch for this to kind of subdue for a little bit, and then we'll see capital start to come back in once the sellers have kind of taken a reset. So that's a positioning, but I think it does set up some good, like I'm watching Vex, I'm watching Pawns, I'm watching Index, I'm watching Karma. Like, there's a good handful of things that I'm keeping eyes on here, and I think they're going to get extreme oversold points. So like, you can go and bid at pretty extreme levels. I think they come down. So yeah.
Yeah, no, 100%. Totally agree with you. I mean, just to give you guys a little bit of like perspective as far as like, what do we mean by, you know, this is going to kind of create opportunity. I mean, it's all about liquidity vacuums, right? Like, how do you play a liquidity vacuum? Because that's exactly what this Vlad token is. It's a liquidity vacuum. Ton of people are like, hey, I'm selling off my utility bags, my meme bags, to go and ape into this Vlad coin. Now this Vlad coin is, you know, obviously a scam. And so, you know, when the next round of liquidity is ready to be injected on chain, whether that comes from the same people, whether that comes from a different user base, or maybe it's just these folks kind of actually sell off this Vlad chart. Whatever it is, you know, I think at the end of the day, though, that liquidity will then flood back into the same assets that that people were interested in beforehand. So very interesting things happening on chain. One of the things I'm looking at right now,
and this
apparently
kind of
there's
leads into an interesting question that maybe this is part of that question, but Kurt Jones asked, what Robinhood basket would y'all make going forward? So if we had to choose 5, you know, I think it's a good question. What would you be buying on this tip if you had to create a composable basket of Robinhood? I think very simply, you could break it down to a couple things. Main runner, cash cat. It's got to be in there if you love it or hate it. If you want a basket that's going to gauge the general Robinhood ecosystem, it's going to be main runner meme. It's going to be main runner RWA. It's going to be main runner AI. The other two, you know, can be maybe a split of between those 3. But what would you say, Chill?
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. So definitely AI, ticker AI on long.xyz. That has to be there. I don't even know if I mean, Cash Cat is definitely free, on the dip, but I don't know if I don't know if I'm really a buy. Not that I'm not bullish, but I just think from an RR perspective, there are other great opportunities. Let me actually pull up the Cash Cat.
I guess it depends what you're
chart.
trying to index for, right? If you're trying to index for the broader Robinhood ecosystem, I mean, the obvious answer is you just bid the leaders in each like kind of sector, right? Launchpad, AI, RWA, meme coin, and then whatever the fourth sector is that you want to kind of cook up there, right? That would be if you're indexing for the entirety of Robinhood. If you're indexing for best RR on like a shorter time frame, that would change. So I know I'm taking this question way complicating it, but like, yeah. So maybe I guess just give us the idea of what your index is indexing for before you kind of build it, if that would help.
Yeah. So I'll do like a few different sectors. I mean, memes, obviously, RWA memes, it would be completely different. So memes, RWA memes, RWA Fi, and then utility. And I maybe even like do like an extra utility slot in there as well. Those would be my five
But
sort of sectors.
what would those like be then? Right. So like let's do
So
the RWA meme. Like what would be in that bucket?
So RWA meme would definitely be AI. Ticker AI got included. I think I max bid down here. Like I've been watching some of the charts and honestly not even like doing like TA like support resistance. No, it's just using this measuring tool in the fib to understand like how deep of a retracement we're in and just buying in between the 0.786 and the 0.886 and just buying within that. That's literally where I plan to bid. So that was Ticker AI. I think the other thing that we can look out for is Brody. I'm not sure. This is like my first time like really like diving into the chart. I've heard of Brody. It's basically the Robinhood office dog. So that obviously has some lore. Been seeing, the FOMO cabal, not cabal, but seeing it getting a push from some FOMO folks. Seeing some FOMO buys on there, and then also from a meme perspective, the memetics are pretty strong. Getting a lot of like sells in this area wicking right here, so we could essentially just kind of come back down, and hopefully I can tag it, around that zone. That's essentially what I'd look for. That's the second meme. RWA Fi, I'm still looking for like the protocol for RWA Fi. I like the idea for Fletch, but I don't think it was, unfortunately, I don't think it was like legit. I think that the devs are like scamming or something. I'm not really sure.
What was the idea there?
But basically it was splitting the principal stock token and the dividend of the stock into two different tokens. So you split the stock and the dividend now becomes like this like tradable asset. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Pendle. But it becomes this sort of like dividend asset that you can trade. You can trade the yield that you get on the stock token. So I kind of really like the idea. I wanted to see where they pitch it, like how they use it, how it could be integrated. But I'm very, very interested in the RWA DeFi convergence on Robinhood. I think that's going to be important. So for that, I think I'm leaning towards Fire for now until I find something else that's a little different. So there's that. So I think that's what, 3. I believe that's 3 so far. I think I said wallet. I said Ticker AI, wallet, Ticker AI, Fire. We covered Brody.
No, wait, you didn't give much of a wallet thesis though, and actually, Pepe asked for AI and wallet still cooking. You kind of gave the AI. What's the wallet thesis here? I mean, it's still very much like it's like a lore based trade.
It's a Tibber based trade, right? Like I know the Tibber folks don't like us comparing wallet to Tibber. It's a little bit different, but from a lore perspective, it is a Tibber style trade. Basically, what you're seeing is that this wallet is directly connected to someone on the Robinhood team. We've seen the wallet interact with Vlad's test wallet. We've seen the wallet interact with a high-level executive. I believe he was like the senior engineer, something like that. There was also it was the way the wallet was funded. It was like the transaction that for the funding of the wallet isn't on the blockchain. Like it was funded like at the infrastructure layer, like before block 34, where transfers and stuff were being recorded. So literally someone deep within the AI, deep within the Robinhood team launched this token right after Vlad said, a robust chain needs a robust wallet. And a day later, the wallet token gets launched, right? So from the same, and the deployer wallet is the wallet with all of those different connections. So definitely think that there's something there. It's sort of this like this dark horse type thing. We don't know what it is. We don't know what the utility would be, if Robinhood is even working on anything. All I'm seeing is a great token lore, great chart. And this green box here is where I'm like most interested. So yeah, that's what I'm looking at. That's what I'm looking at right now for wallet. So those are my 4 so far: wallet, AI, and honestly, I'll be full into AI. Like I'll buy more down here. Sub 6.5, sub 6 mil. I'm a buyer of AI. So wallet,
I
AI.
think what I want to see though is like AI largely is the beta to the launchpad
Yeah.
doing well. I would like to see like a commitment of revenues or something flowing somewhere. They don't have their own native token, and they're kind of like AI has kind of become that. I know he probably doesn't want to champion AI as the native token, but like, can we get some commitment in terms of like revenue flow to AI or something like that?
I don't think it needs the fundamentals. I think
You
it
don't think so?
needs I think it just needs the memetics to continue to hold up. And here's what I mean. He mentioned on his interview that that he was in talks with the Robinhood team, right? Like he mentioned, hey, like, there's some conversations we're having with the head of product at Robinhood. I want to see where those conversations lead, because essentially the future that I foresee is Vlad put the idea out to the market. Hey, let's incorporate these tokenized stocks into different into different on-chain products. That's done. Okay, what's their plan? Do they plan to bring these assets, like list them on the Robinhood app? Do they plan to support these products? Because this now, remember, their whole thing is agentic trading. But for an agent to trade and make money and do all these things, it needs these different primitives as levers to pull to then create returns for normies, create returns for retail. And so RWA gives these agents, these AI agents, the ability to kind of come in and take advantage of the yields and then be able to give returns to retail consumers. So I think the RWA sector will give Robinhood products that they can then support, maybe not even promote, but like at least stand these products up to say, hey, if you're trading on Robinhood or you're using an agent, this is where your agent can go to make money. Instead of just like, oh, trade on my chain. It's like, no, there are actual DeFi primitives or like, financial instruments that these agents can use to create returns for you. And that becomes a really attractive selling point for Robinhood to their users. So my bet is on further integration of the platform within Robinhood. And so maybe these assets get spot listed. Those are the kind of catalysts that I'm looking for. Not necessarily a follow, not a retweet. I think those things are just early signs of the team paying attention. But I think if they're serious about this later on down the line, it really becomes, hey, how can we support you? Is there an ecosystem fund, or is there resources that they can provide, or integrations into the Robinhood app, whatever it is? So I'm really excited to see where we are in a couple months.
Crypto Jones asked about stocks. Yeah, stocks. That was an interesting conversation we had the other day. And Chill, I would love to hear your thoughts. What I'm thinking generally is, it seems like there's a lot of different things they want to develop within the Robinhood ecosystem. I think the Robinhood ecosystem is sticky. So how can you get a bet over like the products on that? And I think that's kind of the trade here. So can they develop the VDAX? Can they develop the, AMM? Potentially, can they develop the Launchpad? Right? Can they kind of plug in all these different areas that new blockchains need? And if they can be even one of those, they can win in a big way. And of course, they were interested in all value accrual kind of flowing to the stonks token. So it's a watch and feel play for me. What about you, Chill?
Yeah, same here. And I was assuming that Crypto Jones was talking about the meme stonks. The PA on that just has been like super choppy. I'm not 100% sure why. But I think those are did we get to 5? I think we got to 5, right?
I don't know, but it answered the question. I think.
You guys got it. You guys got it. Yeah, but I think that's really it. I mean, Robinhood, a lot of setups coming. We'll see how the ecosystem does over the course of the next few days and the weekend. I tend to lean a little bit bearish because, again, a lot of capital just left the eco through the scam and the rug. And obviously, you have bearish price action on majors, the cash cats, the ponds and all of those things. You have bearish price action on the high caps like the Bitcoins, the Ethereums. Obviously, there's a pullback there, and we're looking at again we're expecting another major pullback to sub 60K. So a lot of drawdown. So I tend to lean a little bit bearish here. Especially again with the phantom integration of Robinhood chain could mark a bit of a local top. So DCA is the way. Yeah,
you have to be able to flip based on information, and I agree. I think short term go down a little bit. Probably takes a few days, at least maybe a week to form a bottom, and then we move on. But and then we move back up. But Chill. One thing about this too, we get so caught up in this echo chamber of like utility and more sophisticated conversations and investing here that we forget what normies are trading like these days, bro. Like, let me just play a video I saw, bro, just to remind everyone what the normies be trading like. Like, these are the conversations they have.
Oh God,
there's some serious money here. So when something like Jimothy happens, when a coin that's 2 days old touches $23 million in market cap, goes 15 mil, and guys, I mean, as someone who's holding a crap ton of Tung Sahur coin, Triple T, that's probably one of the biggest meme coins of all time. This coin itself
turn this off,
right? And this coin has been out for months. I believe. To hear it. And I just recently started gathering a position.
These are
the
conversations that the normies are having.
And people have been writing thesis all the way since back here.
Well, let's get to
it really is one of the most viral memes of our generation. But Jimothy, this raccoon who came out in one day, is just completely surpassing the chart. And you have to ask yourself, okay, why?
It's a great point.
Right. And it's because it's getting a lot of attention right now. And you always have to understand this, right? Like, meme coins, fundamentally, they're a pump and dump. Like, this coin, if Jimothy doesn't continue going viral, it'll go down, and that's like where you have to decide. No, I think like there's certain memes that are kind of here forever. That's why I gathered a position in Triple T. But you kind of just have to decide what it is that you want to do. And as a trader, you want to be trading everything that's viral. So I should have definitely gotten myself involved into Jimothy.
Oh my God, guys, can I? You're gonna make my intrusive thoughts win here because I got a crazy take. Number one, quote unquote meme fundamentals that he mentions, like memetics and all that, don't matter on Solana. Don't matter.
Tung Sahur coin. It's a generational meme.
Man, oh my God! Like, we have been conditioned to. He literally was like, all meme coins are pump and dumps. No, they're not. No, they're all not. If they're launched on long.xyz, where they have like a low key, a perpetual up only bid over the course of like a long-term time horizon, like you can actually have a long-term thesis and have an investable token if your token is paired with a stock and has good memetics. That's number one. Number two, bump all this launching a token for a viral trend. We've seen that it's not consistent. The market is very pick and choosy. Low key, it's probably somebody caballing it up. And shout out the guys that we interviewed just the other day that are putting that are wrapping prediction markets up in a meme coin. Shout out them, because that's what that Jimothy needs to be, a meme coin with a prediction market inside of it. That's what that needs to be. A meme coin with an expiration date and not a pump and dump where people lose money thinking they can long-term invest. And if it's a pump and dump, that means you're not even looking at long-term. You're not even looking at a spot listing anywhere. You're not looking at a billion market cap. You're looking at running something up. I got people in my DMs all the time. Hey, bro, we run things up to 800K, 2 mil. And it's like, that's it. That's all y'all shooting for. Come on, man. Like, and these guys that, and you know, whether it's Orangey or whoever, all of the guys that, you know, are really like Solana native and low key, like aligned with a particular launch pad on Solana, they're not pivoting over to Robinhood. Like, they're not pivoting over because they can't win. They need the pump and dumps. They need the cabal plays. They need crime in order to win. They can't trade. Shoot, I can't trade, but they can't trade for real. Like, I at least have, like, you know, some a good chunk of wins under my belt, and some good, some consistent wins over the last cycle. And granted, you know, the bear market has been rough, as it's been rough for many, but that's because people are criming things up, bro. It's not everyone's criming. Like, there's been a lot of people, like the games of the world, the Bitmans of the world, and a few others that have actually, like, actually been making really good trades, 10Xs and above. But it's like, why aren't you why not just follow the volume? Like, isn't it so obvious? Why not just follow? Like, we're going to pump and dump a Jimothy meme coin instead of buying something like, truly innovative, like an RWA meme.
Well, is
it that you are truly bearish on it, or are you just aligned to a certain extent to someone or something, and you don't want to give up that quote unquote edge that you have because you're in the cabal?
Well,
come on, bro. All right, that's enough. That's enough.
Obviously, Joshua, it's threatening Tung Sahur coin. I guess, what are you bidding? Are you bidding Joshua, or are you bidding Tung Sahur?
Bro, Dom is just having a field day right now, bro. I'm just so tired of the PvP. I'm not buying neither.
It's just so funny.
Just
so
off
funny.
principle.
Dude, I saw this video and he was like,
touches $23 million in market cap, goes 15 mil. And guys, I mean, as someone who's holding
he's like fundamentally breaking down like Tung Sahur. It's just so funny.
Biggest, meme coins of all time. This coin itself.
Can I just say this?
Right, this coin has been out for months.
I'm not hating on RNG here. I just it's just so funny. Like, there's the differences. There are two sides of the fence, really. And this is like, there's this audience over here which is talking about Tung Sahur and like comparing it to Joshua, and then there's like the side of the fence we sit on. It's just so funny.
Like, I'm sorry, bro. Chat, like, you guys have been here for the last, year of us year and a half almost, of us breaking down narratives, breaking down charts. And we're not doing, this is the biggest meme coin of all time. That's not, like, literally, I'm on the charts and I'm like, hey, this is a pivot entry that I've been, and I'm not trying to FUD nobody's meme coin bag, maybe tongue, shout out the community. Maybe, like, it probably does well, because that one, I will say, does exhibit characteristics of a longer term meme coin. Because
we pilled them, boys. We pilled RNG pilled him. He did his fucking job, dude.
No, he didn't. Bro. No, he didn't. This guy, I've seen tongue across my timeline for 6 months plus, or 3 months, however long it's been since it's launched. So that does exhibit some sort of narrative there, and it's sustained a couple 80% moves. But something like Joshua or what's the other thing? The other coin that he was talking about, the Jimothy coin, or like that sort of stuff. Like, those are just here today, gone tomorrow memes that people try to push and stuff like that. Stuff that's not gonna hit a Billy or anything like that. No lore. No, nothing, right? Like, but you compare what you see with Orangey to what you see on our stream. We're breaking down narratives. Like look at our wallet analysis. Look at our wallet, and literally, I'm telling you that the Robinhood chain, the Robinhood team, literally, there's a coin connected to them. You know what I mean? Like, we're out here breaking down the narratives. We're breaking down the thesis. I'm looking at the chart, and bro, like, I'm looking at the chart. I'm even breaking down. Hey, here's the pivot entry. Here's the fibs. You know what I mean? Like, we're actually doing something constructive here. And like you know, these other guys, they appear to be sounding smart, but it's just cabaled, you know, PvP assets, man. Like, just people that bundle stuff, and maybe it works out, but maybe it doesn't. But I think the reason that we don't see these guys on Robinhood is because they know that that's the culture over there that they've built. That's the culture over there. Like, they're like, hey, like, you know, it's gonna be you don't know what's pump and dump and what's not from a meme coin perspective. I think utility is different. MetaDAO, Oasis of Solana, low key, that's a thesis over the next cycle. And then you have your winners from Pump Fund, that would be those that like go through any type of like token to equity conversion model. Outside of that, you don't know what you're touching.
Wow.
You don't know what you're touching.
Gentlemen, if you feel shaken to the core from that message Chill just dropped, can I get a hell yeah in the chat? Can I just get a hell yeah, Chill?
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah, brother.
No, but man, we want to speak the truth on these streams, man. I want to keep it a buck with you. And I'll always keep it a buck, man. I'm not scared of like what people online think of me. Like, it is what it is, bro. You know, I'm not the best trader out there, but I'm working on myself every day. I'm a student of the game, I'll tell you that much.
Oh yeah, for RNG.
Oh man. Oh my gosh.
Oh yeah, for RNG, brother. No, but this is good. Like, we can't sit in an echo chamber. We have to understand both sides of the fence. So truly, this is good stuff. We have to understand where the retail is coming from here. This is the core audience. Here, got another video I thought was crazy. This is how FOMO is doing marketing right now. This isn't FOMO, but like, this is what someone kind of doing some marketing for FOMO to promote his ref code. But like, just this video is wild to me because he just lies the entire time pretty much.
His most recent Instagram pic. This is Kimchi, who ran out $40 million on one trade, and Orangey, who's also a huge meme coin trader. So I did some digging and come to find out that Orangey actually tweeted that he was onboarding Brez to his brand new software. So I had to download it for myself. And what do you know? Brez is on the leaderboard making over $100,000 just in the last 24 hours alone. So I immediately clicked on his profile, hit him with a follow, and turn notifications on. So every time he places a trade, I get a notification sent straight to my phone just like this. I've only been copy trading him for a few days, and I've already run up over 20K in my account. This software is pretty insane because it allows you to get notifications and copy all of the best crypto traders. So if you want to try it out for yourself.
Buddy Shill and FOMO is a copy trading app as new technology that RNG created. What are we talking about?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy. Yeah, this is.
He's saying he made 23K in a couple days. Copy trading? No one's made any money ever in the history of ever copy trading. I saw him in the comments too. It was kind of funny. In the comments, someone was like, "Well, how much are you bidding with?" And he was like, $20 to $30 a pop.
Come on, bro.
It's deceptive marketing. But like, this is what gets people, because I mean, you look at this. This is 2 million views. 2 million views, 100,000 likes, 5.6 thousand comments. And it shows people are in this get rich quick kind of scheme mindset where it's like, they see that this guy's posting a completely LARPing. It's just complete lies. Posts a video mentioning Kimchi ran up 40 million on one trade. No, he didn't. Mentioning RNG created a software. It's not even RNG. You know, it's FOMO. And he's onboarding people, telling them to copy trade people that are literally pumping, dumping in 1 minute markets. And, you know, he's saying he's made $30,000, $24,000 in the last couple of days doing this. And then in the comments, he's talking about my size is 30 to $50 a position. It's just like, it's completely ridiculous. But this is what gets normies. Like, look at the impressions here. 2 million people saw his video. 97,000 liked it and 6,000 commented on it. This got some meaningful onboards for FOMO. And people are actually going to go in here and copy trade these guys who are going to back and forth buy and dump on their head all day. It's kind of wild.
They want to run the game, man. They want to run the same game they've been running this entire like last cycle that literally has not been negative EV this entire time. Did you see? You remember the little 12-year-old kid? Remember the 12-year-old kid that
Thanks for the 20 bandos.
Do you know he tried to put out a video, and I'm trying to look for it, chat. I really am, because I want to show you guys this, because it's, to Dom's point, it's people just like straight up lying, bro. Like this guy, he puts out a video basically stating that, hey, here's how he said, here's how I made a 7-figure portfolio last cycle. He said he got a loan from some shady Chinese bank, and then he bought Solana at $8 and then sold it at $250. And then I'm like, what are you talking about, kid? I'm like, you're the same kid that was trying to that was rugging people on Pump Fund. That's how you got your money. You're not a trader like that.
The LARP culture is crazy, bro. I'm gonna be LARPing myself a little bit though. I'm gonna be in Miami this weekend. I got some jet skis, so I'll be waking up and LARPing a day or two this weekend.
As you should, King. As you should.
No, it's
you deserve it. We've been actually like, just tell them you run the biggest show in crypto. Just tell all the huzz that.
Well, I got a LARP though. I gotta lie about something. I don't know. I gotta think about it.
Dude, it's like, this is just insane. This is just insane work, bro. But yeah, I saw that and I can't find the video, man. Unfortunately, guys, I can't find it. But literally,
the Quan kid's so funny to me though. Like he launched a rug. Thanks for the 20 bandos, does the viral clip. Then he launches the apology. I apologize video, which was hilarious. That I think, they launched a new token, or he bought in at the lows, and it pumped whatever again, and he just kept LARPing. And yeah, now he's turning serial LARPer. He's kind of just embraced it. I think he's LARPing on every front, which is hilarious. It's only hilarious because he's a kid and he's a Quan kid, but like there's so many grifters out here right now.
It's like, bro, you're telling me at 10, 11 years old, you were getting a loan from a shady Chinese bank? Come on, bro. What are we talking about? Shut up.
I did see this.
Bro, you're barely you still got, I can't say that, but you still got mommy's milk, you know what I'm saying? On your face, bro. Like, calm down.
I can't say it. Proceeds to just vulgarly rip about mommy's milk on his face. Insane.
Guys, I'm so like, you'll always hear me get hyped up around this topic because I'm so passionate about it. And I've seen so much, like, literally, bro, it's easier and more profitable to be just a terrible person in this industry. It's easy and it's profitable. You literally have to stand on morals, and like you literally have to not you literally have to stand on your morals and not be a grifting LARP in order to like, be hunted, but you won't make as much money. And I've chosen to be that guy that doesn't give. I have never launched a token. I've never lied, promoted rugs, none of that stuff. And it's crazy because over the last 2-3 years, I've actually worked on trying to be a good trader and scanning charts and doing research and sharing my thesis and blah, blah, blah. But then you got 12-year-old kids out here, doing rugs on Pump Fund. And then low key, he seems like he's got somebody backing him, telling him to promote and to change his reputation and kind of LARP his Jesus Christ. And
video gets taken down.
It's crazy, man. Like, imagine like, watching these guys, like, they all go crazy. They all go crazy, in terms of like money making standpoint. And you're just, you make your 6 figs still, but like, imagine you could be at like 10 milli.
10 figures.
10 mil, not 10 figures. 10, not like, wait, how much? Anywho, yeah. But yeah, like legit, like there's people out there, bro, like that I know. They dump on their private discords, they dump on their paid Discord communities, they serial rug, and that's how they scrummage together money during the bear market. Like, I've seen like the absolute other side, and it's like crazy.
It's crazy indeed, man.
Crazy.
It's crazy indeed.
I'm sorry. Sorry for the rant, guys. Sorry for the rant.
Dude, it's passion. It's the passion speaking. Blocky Buy says we need on-chain reputation. Yeah, I don't think on-chain reputation works, to be honest. I don't know. I've seen a lot of people try it and give reputation to wallets, and I don't know. I don't think it really works, to be honest. And this is permissionless. This is crypto, right? So I think you should be able to trade, buy, and sell whatever you want without. Yeah, I don't know. I do see what MetaDAO is doing though, where you have like MetaDAO points based on how long and how much you hold within the ecosystem, and it gives you like priority for their launches. Mommy milk is wild indeed, bro. Yeah.
Shout out Dave Chappelle. Shout out Dave Chappelle.
Let me hear the milk gone bad in a Dave Chappelle voice.
You don't want me to do that. You
I
don't
do. Sure I do.
that.
Sure I do.
No.
We can't even-
Anywho, block by.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This is a
ownership
cool
score is
thing.
very cool. Yeah, it is a cool concept, but I wish that, the thing is it doesn't work because like what would it be attached to? A wallet?
Yeah, it's attached to wallets. We've seen people do the wallets. We've seen them do the reputation score based on like their X accounts. I don't know, man. It all kind of feels just like it's a lot of
'Cause if
work
it's-
for kind of meaningless effect.
If
But I
it's
do
a
think this is
wallet,
cool.
if it's a wallet, you can easily change. Like unless launch pads, say, hey, like only use one deployer wallet, maybe.
Yeah, but this is for like who has priority access, right? So this is a case that comes out of the success of MetaDAO. These raises are filling super fast, so we'll give you priority if you've been like a long-term contributor. And this is not like a new concept. Again, it's like Rolex does it. If you guys want to get Rolex's stock when they come out, you have to be like a customer that's bought a bunch of shitty Rolexes, a bunch of different Rolexes that you don't want just to be on that list. Same thing for some of these car companies like Ferraris and whatever. So, I mean, it makes sense to do this for investors too. If there are things that are getting oversubscribed and you want to give priority to the people that are the most active and power users, like, okay, this makes sense. I think like a broad, I don't think it's worked in the past though. That makes sense.
Yeah. 100%, guys. Well, I think if I'm not mistaken, I think we covered pretty much everything. We gave you guys the Vlad news. Maybe the last thing I wanted to touch on was this thesis here by Unihacks. This thesis was like goes way back to like 2023. But basically he says it's simple. We saw it with ETH, BNB, Sol, now with Base, the chain that attracts the volume attracts also the mind share and generates a lot of voices in the public space. Having people doing their financial transactions on your chain is a superpower that banks used with infinite greed, and it's something that many companies and governments can dream of. Today, the biggest product-based companies in crypto, Telegram, Coinbase, Consensus, are just at the beginning of their activity on mainnet. And I have no doubt that they'll do anything they can to get this power. Tomorrow, I wouldn't be surprised to see Google, Meta, or other tech giants launching their own L1 or L2. This was a tweet by Unihacks where he says the great layer war that I theorized back in 2023 is intensifying. Top is in when all of the top companies release their own L1 and L2. So I say all of that to say, if you missed Robinhood, you missed the early sort of like bridging, you weren't in the Discord, you weren't watching MCG, that is okay. Don't even worry about it. Why? Because there's likely going to be other opportunities to get in early on perhaps other chains. I mean, if Robinhood replicates this success, right? Think about it. Robinhood is a traditional company, right? Like they started on the TradFi side. So they're not crypto at all. They have ventured into crypto. They've learned a lot. And obviously Vlad knows ball with how he's moving, but they're not a crypto company. See, Coinbase was a crypto company. They started within the space. Every other company, that came after them, that tried to operate on the exchange side, they are a crypto. They came from inside the space. But now you have an outside TradFi person basically coming in and laying the groundwork, or basically creating like an example that other companies, a playbook that other companies can use to venture into this space. So what if Robinhood is just the first? What if we get like the theory here from Unihaxer, what if we get Google chain, Meta L2, right? Like, what if other tech giants actually start, like, coming in and promoting their own chain, because essentially it's another revenue source for them. It's a way that, and there's so many other cool things that could be done. So if you miss Robinhood, it's definitely, this is way early. But for when this opportunity presents itself again, potentially with other companies, look out for that, realize the opportunity, and go heads in. But that's all we got for you guys today. Dom, anything else?
Let's talk schedule, guys. We have tomorrow is Chill and Josh are going to be on for you guys. They have Squeeze coming on, which is actually one that's ironically up today, up 2% on the day, up 63% in the last hour. But we have Squeeze coming on tomorrow to talk through what they're building, and that's going to be at 1:15. So I'm actually working backwards here. And then at 12:30, we have Worker, which is one that's building on the Robinhood chain. They've been here since like the very early days, and they're streaming in public. I don't know, they're grinding. So maybe there's something worth watching here. If, again, forward-facing founder, they're building, I think it's agentic finance tech, which is in line with what Robinhood's looking for. So maybe this turns into something. Tomorrow, Josh and Chill are going to find out. With that being said, that's been the stream. As always,
boys, we appreciate y'all, lads, ladies and gentlemen. We appreciate you guys for tuning in again. Go to our main account. If you're here, you're just joining us for the very, very first time, welcome to MCG. We're here Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time. Go to @MCG Live. Make sure you're hitting that follow button, right? Make sure you're getting all of this sweet alpha. We're here every single day. I know that the stream is, we're winding down. We're coming to a close here, but you want to go to our pinned tweet and do two things for me. Hit like and hit RT. Make sure you're doing that. Why? Because you want to get the word out. You want to get the word out because I don't know if you guys saw my tweet yesterday, but MCG, we have been covering all of the latest and greatest things happening on chain. It's well documented. It's something that we do consistently. And if you like what we are sharing with you guys, then likely other people will too, right? We caught the Robinhood opportunity in mid-June. We told you guys about Cash Cat sub 100K, right? All of the other memes are under 300K outside of Minium. We caught the virtuals ecosystem. We even brought a lot of them on the stream. We talked about Wallet today. We're talking about that since 700K. We even talked about the Credible and MetaDAO ecosystem. Got them on the show as well. And we called the bounce on Bitcoin at 60K. Now we're calling the dump, and it's low-key playing out. We talked about that earlier in this stream just today. So we talk about a lot here, guys. We do a lot. Hopefully you guys see the value in it. We'd absolutely appreciate all the love and support we've been receiving. We're going absolutely nuts as far as growth and followers and following is concerned, but really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll be back for another banger stream on MCG. See you in the Discord.
Shout out Meteora for keeping this show going. Peace.